Hello and welcome everyone out to Mitchell Stadium in Bluefield, West Virginia, where today the Bluefield College Rams play host to the St. Andrews University Knights. Glad to have you with us, everybody. Bailey Engel and Nick Ratliff. Going to be a good day for Bluefield College Rams football, Nick, because they're in a situation here where they're trying to go for 2 in a row, which has been kind of a rarity in this Bluefield program.
Right, coming off a big walk-off style win last week with the game-winning field goal in overtime. They have a lot of momentum coming into this game. They're going to look to build on that and, like you said, win 2 in a row and match the highest win total since we came back as a program.
That was a 3-8 record back in 2014, and they're doing it in a very winnable situation. A very young squad with St. Andrews in their first year of a football program.
A lot of freshmen playing, and I think that's going to match for the amount of freshmen that we have. I think it's a game full of young and hungry football players, and we're going to see how that turns out.
Well, Bluefield won the toss and deferred, so St. Andrews elected to receive, and back deep to receive this one, Kendrick Ivey and Jalen Burton, while Bluefield's hero from last game, Tanner Griffith, the freshman from Gloucester, Virginia, is set to boot this one away. Gorgeous night for football here in Bluefield, West Virginia. The Rams wearing red and going from left to right. Swing of the leg and a boot all the way back to Burton. He receives at the 10-yard line, runs up to the 30, and breaks a tackle up to the 33-yard line, and that's where the Knights will start. Well, we've seen teams in the past, Nick, and really for Bluefield, this is the first time that they have faced a team that is a primarily rushing squad.
Right, we've seen a little bit of it a couple weeks ago, and once again, this is all going to come back to the battle in the trenches and see how our defensive line can respond to, again, what we're assuming is going to be a lot of runs up the middle and see if we can beat them physically.
So now the Knights will line up in a shotgun in the wing. Drops back a pump fake, moving up, and he's tackled. Larry Jefferson starts out the game with a sack. And it's a loss of 1 to start it off. Deshaun Ferguson, actually the quarterback to start for St. Andrews, despite being on the depth chart. Keyshawn Brown was allotted to be the starting quarterback today for St. Andrews, and we thought that they were going to open up with a run. Instead, they mix it up with a pass.
Right, I think they fooled everybody in the park with that one.
So 2nd and 11 from the 32-yard line. Ferguson moves under the center now, pitches it out wide to Tyler McNeil, who will rush up all the way to the 38. Rather, that is Trevor McNeil. But McNeil, either way, the leading rusher for the Knights this year. And now after a short gain, it'll be 3rd and 5 at the 32-yard line. St. Andrews has to get it up to the 43.
And this is a spot that this Bluefield defense has exceeded in this season, is those 3rd and long situations.
Well, 3rd and 5. Looks like St. Andrews will go from the shotgun again. They have a receiver trickling out on the near sideline. That's Kishard Coens. Now a man in motion. Snap to Ferguson. Whips it out near sideline, and it's caught by Coens. Broke a tackle, and now across the 50 up to the 47-yard line after being brought down by Antonio Dawkins. So now St. Andrews with an early 3rd down conversion. It's a gain of about 15, and now they're up to the 49-yard line and into Bluefield territory. Bluefield mixing it up on that nose guard position once again. Brandon Kale, the freshman from Chilhowie, getting the start. We're probably going to see a lot of Terrence Hall as well, the sophomore, on the defensive front as Bluefield lines up in a 3-4. Ferguson under center. Once again, he's got a fullback and 2 running backs. Looks like they're going with a triple option. Whips it out right, and now he's got to go. A flag, breaking a tackle across the 25 and up to the 22. And on the carry, that was Josh Godwin. And that was nearly a 25-yard gain, but there's a flag all the way back at the line of scrimmage. Looks like this one might come back.
Right, and this style of an offense, this is hard to defend in the first quarter. It's hard before our defense can see what they're doing and start making adjustments. So let's see how well they can run this triple option in the first quarter versus the rest of the game.
Well, it's a chop block, and that will push the run all the way back. So instead of St. Andrews having another 1st down deep in Bluefield territory, they're going to be pushed back into their own end of the field. And that ball all the way back now to the 36-yard line. So Bluefield catches a break, and it's first and very long to go. First down markage would be all the way up to the 39 of the Rams. Well, the Knights have mixed it up. Deshaun Ferguson is the quarterback. Last-minute change by David Harper and his team. And Ferguson fakes the fullback dive and whips it out to Godwin. Godwin rushes across the 50 and tackled up at the 46-yard line. So another solid gain to Josh Godwin, who has no flags on that one, actually, right at the end.
I was about to say, Billy,
a flag at the end of the play.
There's a little pushing and shoving right beside the pile there at the end. So
now St. Andrews, a young team, you can expect some sort of lack of discipline for them, but really for Bluefield, Josh Godwin has came out of the gate. It'll still be second down, but it's a 15-yard penalty. Looks like it's a block in the back. So the ball was spotted all the way up at the 47, but instead they're going to move it back to the 39.
And coming into a game with two very, very young teams, this is something you'd expect to see is quite a bit of penalties early on and lack of discipline.
So now 2nd and 22. 2 straight penalties for this team that primarily runs the triple option, but they've dropped back 2 times today with Deshaun Ferguson. Ferguson, the freshman from Laurinburg, North Carolina. Bluefield with 5 men on the line of scrimmage. It's a fullback dive, and he clutches his way up to the 44-yard line. It's a gain of 3, and now it's going to be 3rd and very long. On the run was Trevor McNeil. Pretty solid running back, 5'11", 220 freshman from North Charleston, South Carolina. Probably say that freshman word a lot today, especially for both teams, but more so for St. Andrews in their first year of a program down in North Carolina. Now Ferguson has 3 receivers on the near sideline. Dawkins on the coverage. Ferguson drops back under immediate pressure. Pump fakes, fires, intercepted. Caleb Jackson hauled it in for Bluefield. He ran out of bounds with the momentum, and it's his first interception of the year, and Bluefield will have a 1st and 10 at the 50.
And there that inexperience shows again, throwing a ball to the middle of the field that he should have just gotten rid of and given the punt away.
So now Ferguson was under a ton of pressure, Nick, and Bluefield really made that happen. So now we're going to have to see Kaysen Witt again, who will once again get the start at quarterback for Bluefield after making his first start on the season last week in the win over Warner. He's got running back Malik Brown on his left. We'll hand it off to Brown. Brown sprints, breaks a tackle, wrestles across another tackler, and moves up to the 45-yard line. It's a gain of about 7. Bluefield will have 2nd and 3. Well, Brown was the leading rusher in the win over the Warner Royals last week, but Bluefield has kind of established themselves of having a revolving door of running backs between Brown, Rashad Butler, as well as Alex Martin.
And that's something that this program's had ever since it came back is 3 or 4 really, really good backs.
Oh, Whittle handed off to Brown again, but instead he is tackled behind the line of scrimmage by Benjamin Houston. And Houston is that defensive tackle to worry about. He was a captain for this game for the St. Andrews Knights, and that'll run Bluefield back to the 47-yard line, and it's 3rd and 5. Have to get the ball up to the 42. Bluefield lining up once again in the gun. 2 receivers on the far sideline for Witt. Snap, looking down the middle. Instead, he'll flick it out to Brown. Brown tackled as he goes out of bounds. Very close, but it'll be about 2 yards short. And the Rams will have 4th down and about 2 at the 44-yard line.
Billy, what do you think? What do you think is going to come right here?
Well, going back to that last play, it looked like Nick, he was trying to go downfield, but instead checked down to Malik Brown, who just couldn't get the first down yardage. And Bluefield will send out their award-winning punter, Drake Presley.
And that's something we haven't seen this season, not Drake Presley, but a quarterback sitting in the pocket, waiting for that check down and wanting to throw first before he takes off.
So Presley back to punt. Young man from Oakwood, Virginia. Ooh. High snap. It goes over his head. He'll pick it up, trying to get something off, and it looks like he's trying to throw it. Runs out of bounds, and he's tackled at the 30-yard line. So instead of pinning them inside in their own territory, St. Andrews will have great field position, 1st and 10 at the 30, and Devin Jackson, we've seen him struggle this year on that long snapping end, even though he's been so great in the secondary. That's the second time this season where he's had a bad snap that's really set up the opposing team. The other time was in the first game against Cumberland College. Well, Bluefield's trying to make a big stop right here as Deshaun Ferguson will come back onto the field. He'll line up in that wing T or the wishbone once again. Fake pitch, Ferguson drops back, hangs over the middle, and it is caught for the touchdown. 30-yard pass, and that is a touchdown for Jermaine Trotman, the tight end. Young man from Virginia Beach, Virginia, a high school teammate of Bluefield's backup quarterback, Churchy Harold. And then right after the high snap, St. Andrews able to convert.
And, Billy, that's a thing that I talked about a lot last week was our biggest weak spot in our defense is our pass coverage 15 yards down the field and over the middle of the field. We've struggled there this entire season and haven't seemed to figure it out just yet.
So now Cole Gleason in to kick. 9:34 in the first quarter. Snap is down, kick is up, and it's good, but their flag's down. Have to see what it is right here. And a false start on St. Andrews. That'll push this PAT back 5 more yards. But what a beautiful play for that touchdown. 30 yards. Jermaine Trotman almost had to fair catch it. He had everybody beat there in the middle of the end zone.
And when you have an offense that runs as much as they do, play-action pass is one of the most deadly plays that they'll be able to run today. They'll lull you to sleep with the run, and then throwing over the top for a score.
Well, he faked the pitch out to Josh Godwin. As the snap is down, kick is up, and good. 7-0 the score, 9:34 left to go in the first quarter as we take a break.
Bailey, we got another flag down.
Oh, thanks for looking for me. I thought I heard the whistle, but I thought everybody was jogging off of the field, and it looks like they will anyway, possibly on the Bluefield defense. And it is a personal foul on Larry Jefferson. That'll be on the kickoff, but still 7-0, 9:34 after the 30-yard touchdown pass from Deshaun Ferguson. We're going to be right back with the Rams getting the ball back here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Back here on the Rams Digital Sports Network, a 30-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter with 9:34 left. Put St. Andrews on the board right after a high snap on a punt from Devin Jackson that Drake Presley just couldn't haul in and make any magic happen. But the Rams will get the ball back once again as Cole Gleason will be the kicker. Malik Brown and Jeffrey Hughes back deep to receive. And they're kicking at the 50 after that personal foul call on the PAT. Brown will receive it deep in the end zone, going out near sideline, still sprinting, toes up at the 10, and tackled way out of bounds at the 15-yard line. And Bluefield will not have great field position to start. Probably should have taken a knee right there.
Yeah, that's a questionable decision to bring that ball out when you could have been starting at the 20. But that comes along with being a young team. Every player wants to make a play, and it's not always the smartest choice.
Not always is right. So now Bluefield trying to make smarter choices on the offensive end as well. And with Kaysen Witt, had a good football IQ play, just staying in the pocket and dumping it down to Malik Brown rather than risking something downfield. But here, Bluefield trying for something here at their own 15-yard line, lining up in the pistol. A snap and a handoff to Malik Brown, who dances across the 15 and up to the 17-yard line. It's a gain of 3 for the Rams. It'll be 2nd and 7. Well, Brown has got the primary touches here, and now we're seeing Churchy Harold onto the field. Harold, the quarterback for the first couple games of the season, rumored to be a slot receiver, and that's what he's going to be today. Lining up in the slot, trips left as Witt will hand it off to Brown, going on the left side, spinning at the 20, lost the ball after he was down on the turf, and that's what they're going to say happened. No fumble, and now after the spinning move up to the 24-yard line, or 23 rather, it's going to be 3rd and 3.
And Bailey, I think Walter Harrod out in the slot receiver position, I think he's going to look more comfortable there. When he was playing quarterback, he looked most comfortable in space, and he's going to have a lot of space out there when he gets the ball.
Knights with 4 men on the line of scrimmage. Witt drops back, fires to Antonio Strickland, and it went right through his hands. The freshman couldn't haul it in, intended for him at the 35-yard line, and now Bluefield will have to punt once again. So Witt had the pass, and it looks like he's got a decent command of his throw early on here, but Bluefield just needs to make those receptions. And once again, another 3 and out. Now this time, a little bit more dangerous if anything happens on the special teams end. Kendrick Ivey back to receive at his own 45-yard line, and now Presley backed up at his own 8. Another high snap, but he caught it, and he'll boot away a spiral high in the air, and Ivey throws up that hand at the last second for a fair catch, and St. Andrews will have 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. So we're seeing here, once again, something that Bluefield has done throughout the whole year, Nick. They've struggled to find offensive chemistry.
Right, and St. Andrews has shot themselves in the foot this entire quarter and still ended up with 7 points. We have to capitalize when we have momentum. We have to capitalize when the team makes mistakes. We have to do that. And we keep putting ourselves in third and long situations. Our offense just doesn't thrive in that scenario. Not many offenses do.
Ferguson under center with 3 backs behind him.
And he'll run out to the left, sit out high, and that's going to be caught.
And now a runner going all the way down the field. That's number 2, Jacob rushing, 10, 5, touchdown. Another touchdown for St. Andrews, and that's 2 straight one-play drives for the Knights.
It's hard to stop. Any triple option rugby is very hard to stop. And so far they've outplayed us.
And Jacob Rushing, just a freshman from Rayford, North Carolina, coming into this game, he's averaging only 3.8 yards per carry. But so far today, he'll take that one carry because that was an absolute bullet down the field for him. A great triple option. Bluefield has looked like they were not ready for that at all. So 8:09 left in the first quarter. Cole Gleason, who's a line drive, right into the left upright, no good. And it's 13-0 here in the first quarter. Bluefield making some mistakes, but trying to come back from that when we come back on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Back on the Rams Digital Sports Network, Gleason boots a line drive, and Malik Brown will catch it. Has a back pedal all the way back to his 1-yard line. Starts to sprint out towards the far sideline, still on his feet across the 20, and then tackled at the 22. And a Bluefield Ram is down at the 30 as a flag sails in late. And this could be bad. For the Rams, looks like that's Jordan Shockley on the ground. And possibly, I didn't see the hit, but the referee all the way back near the kickoff said he saw it and threw that flag about 25 yards.
Right, and he went down about halfway through that play, and it didn't look very pretty. So
if so, we have already seen a decent amount of penalties here, and it's a block in the back on Bluefield.
And Billy, last week we saw a ton of flags. The referees were very, very flag happy.
Well, the Rams have to play smart if they're going to try to come back in this one. Already we've seen 2 big plays. The Rams right after a high snap for Drake Presley ran out of bounds, and then SAU got the ball at the 30-yard line, scored in 1 play thanks to a touchdown to Jermaine Trotman. And then on the second one, Jacob rushing all the way to the house. That was a 71-yard run all the way back to the touchdown or to the end zone. So for Bluefield, they can't have those mistakes like this because now they're in a situation where they have to come back already.
And giving up those big plays gives a young team like that a lot of momentum, and that's something that you don't want to do. A team full of freshmen is going to get really, really excited when things go well, and they'll also drop very, very quickly when things go bad. So giving them this 13-point cushion at the 8-minute mark in the first quarter is not something that we want to do, and we'll hope that Jordan Shockley ends up all right.
Well, Jordan Shockley being carried off of the field by the Bluefield's training staff. Meanwhile, after the penalty, the Rams will start out on their own 11-yard line. So make that 2 straight drives where Bluefield starts inside their own 20. And now for Kason Witt, he's got a long hill to climb to try to go to the end zone right here. Now SAU lining up with 4 men on the line of scrimmage, 7 men in the box. Bluefield with 2 receivers. Now a handoff to Alex Martin, bumbling up to the 20-yard line. And after a spin, he goes down into the turf. Bluefield's big running back just short of a first down.
I was wondering how long it was going to be before we saw Alex Martin enter into this game. And that's a heck of a first run right there.
So it's about a 9.5-yard gain for Alex Martin, who's still out as the running back. Witt in the gun. Another handoff to Martin. Right up the middle, and he wrestles his way across the 25-yard line and up to the 26 for a Bluefield first down, their first of the ball game.
And this is what Alex Martin is known for. He's not the guy that's going to bust off an 80-yard run, but he'll get 3 to 4 yards of carry, and he'll keep getting you first downs.
Martin still in. Bluefield in the exact same formation. Another handoff to Martin on the left side of the center, and he won't get anywhere this time. Stood up right at the line of scrimmage by Benjamin Houston. Houston, a freshman from Gainesville, Florida. He's a freshman tackle that we've already called on a couple of times today. Also for this SAU team, you have to watch out for the defensive end, Darius West, as well as Josh Jones. Rams back in the shotgun, now have 3 receivers on the near sideline. Low snap for Witt, play action, looks right, hangs one deep for Strickland, caught it at the 50, lost the ball, and then caught it, juggling like a clown up to the 42-yard line, but still a solid gain. And Antonio Strickland, you can tell he has a sigh of relief right there. A big first down for Bluefield, and now they're in Knights territory.
And that's something you're going to see a lot with Kason Witt is his ability to throw the ball 15-plus yards down the field. And does Antonio Strickland get 2 receptions for that?
Well, only counts as 1, but he should get it. Now another handoff to Alex Martin, scoots out on the right side, and now he pummels his way up to the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and Bluefield only has to get up to the 32 for a first down. It'll be 2nd and 3. Well, the Rams once again not huddling up. They have 2 receivers out left. Looks like it's Covington and Black on the left side. Another handoff for Martin right up the middle, and he'll rush up to the 30, and it's a Bluefield first down. So make that 3 first downs in the drive as the Rams really are starting to click.
This is exactly what the doctor ordered for Bluefield. There's a lot of positive plays and a lot of positive plays in a row. Just build this drive, and let's hopefully have it end up in the end zone.
Well, Bluefield going left to right, now have the ball in the shade at the 29. High snap for Witt. Another handoff to Martin, and he'll wrestle his way up to the 20-yard line. And tackled right there by Darius West, but then a flag coming down. Looks like for the Rams that was Andrew McPhee pushed down by someone on SAU after the play was over. So that's going to help the Rams out even more. That's a personal foul on SAU. And Andrew Austin for St. Andrews pushed down Andrew McPhee, and that's a costly personal foul penalty.
That hurts. It gives us a free 15. And another thing with St. Andrews being so young is Alex Martin is older and more physically mature, so that's going to be something that he's going to be able to just muscle his way through this defensive line. 1st
and 10 at the 10. Malik Brown in dancing up across the 10-yard line, and he will be tackled at the 7. So you have Alex Martin, who's got the muscle. He was taken out, now right back in the short yardage situation. Bluefield does have to get a first down at the 1-yard line, so not a 2nd and goal opportunity. Now Kason Witt once again back in the gun. has Alex Martin on his right side. It's 13-0, showing blitz, and that's got to be offside, but Alex Martin into the end zone, touchdown. So despite the blitz coming in and trying to hamper Bluefield, Alex Martin rushed into the end zone for a 7-yard TD. So we have a flag late.
No, excuse me.
And yeah, thought it was the flag at the beginning, so it's going to be an offside, so they will decline that. Bluefield is on the board with Alex Martin's 7-yard touchdown. And that was a pivotal drive for Alex Martin. Bluefield, other than throwing it over to Antonio Strickland, that was pretty much all thanks to the junior from Dobson, North Carolina. So now Tanner Griffith out, 4:57 in the first quarter. We've seen a ton of scoring here, folks. Snap is down, kick is up, and through the uprights. And the freshman from Gloucester does it again. So now Bluefield on the board. It's 13-7 with 4:57 left to go in the first quarter. We've got a high-scoring affair so far from what we're used to here at Mitchell. And the Rams set to kick it away when we come back. $89-yard drive for the Bluefield College Rams as they score thanks to the 7-yard touchdown from Alex Martin. 4:57 left to go in the first quarter, and Bluefield finally on the board after a couple of costly mistakes allowed St. Andrews to jump up to a 13-0 lead, but the Rams right back in it, and Tanner Griffith just about ready to kick from his own 35-yard line. Swing of the leg from the freshman, and it's an end-over-end kick all the way back to the 5-yard line, received by Ivy. Now, Ivy has a hole up the middle, and he'll plow down to the 23-yard line after being tackled by a couple of Rams. It'll be 1st and 10 for St. Andrews. Finally, this time for Bluefield, they have manageable field position because last time and the time that, one-play drives for the Knights.
Right, and that's what we're going to look to see on this first play of this drive. Is can we make them have a long drive? Can we wear this young team out? And can we stop this triple option attack?
Well, Deshaun Ferguson right back in there, the quarterback for St. Andrews. Under center, Bluefield with 4 men on the line of scrimmage. Ferguson bringing a man in motion. Now he'll roll out right with the triple option. Tackled, had nowhere to flick it, and it looked like Andre Evans made the tackle that time after a gain of about 5 up to the 29-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and about 4. So you thought you were going to see Keyshawn Brown here today, or possibly Casey Otto, making a change right at the last second. Deshaun Ferguson, another quarterback option, and so far today, so good. He has that 30-yard touchdown pass to Jermaine Trotman. I got the scoring started. 2nd and 4 from his own 29-yard line. Now a man in motion, drops back, whips out near sideline, and it's caught. And they'll move the chains after being immediately tackled on the play. Look to Sunt. But hauling it in on the catch was Tyler Carr. 1st and 10, and a Bluefield player is down. So now 1st and 10 up at the 36-yard line. And it seems to be Michael Everett that's on the ground right now for the Rams. So we saw Jordan Shockley being injured early on, and now Bluefield with the risk of losing another right here. Well, going back to that drive, Nick, it looked like Bluefield on that 89-yard touchdown drive capped off by Alex Martin on the touchdown. Looked like that was just great blocking by a pretty experienced offensive line.
Right, I think that's the oldest part of our team, so I think that should be one of our strong points. And that drive, they really showed that they were the anchor of that offense. And along with that is when we got in a little bit of trouble, got behind the sticks a little bit, Casey Went was able to come up and find Antonio Strickland for a 20-yard gain, and that was a large part of the drive as well, but Alex Martin just muscled his way 89 yards into the end zone.
Well, Michael Everett, the linebacker, up and trying to jog off of the field. He's got a decent limp right here. freshman from Alexandria, Virginia. So now Bluefield going back with a little bit older of a defensive front as Darius Flowers is back out for the Rams. And it looks like Caleb Jackson will fill in for Michael Everett. But after all that, it's a 1st and 10 for Deshaun Ferguson and the rest of the St. Andrews Knights. Have the ball at the 36-yard line. Under center, now a man in motion. Runs out left, a spin move, and he's tackled. Andre Evans, all he had to do was just throw out one hand and grab a hold of his jersey, and the big fella brought down the quarterback for a loss, bringing him back to the 35-yard line.
And that's something I thought was going to happen throughout this first quarter is we're going to recognize their schemes and recognize their plays a little bit better and be able to stop the triple option. And our 3 levels of players, from our DNs to our linebackers to our corners, are going to get to their assignments and play very aggressive and shut that run down.
It's back to the 35-yard line. Second and 11. Ferguson in the gun, now has a man in motion. Hands it off to McNeil. McNeil trying to crawl for some more yards, but it'll be a gain of 2 after Bluefield brings home that linebacking core, and it's a great tackle that time for the Rams. Looks like it was Andre Evans on the tackle, and it'll be 3rd and 9 up to the 37. So now with 3rd and 9, Nick, you got to think, even though this team doesn't pass a lot, they might have to go to the air right here.
Right, and that last 3rd down play with that quick 9-yard hitch was very well timed play and a very good thrown ball.
Ferguson fakes the handoff, drops back, a pump fake, now going deep for Trotman. Trotman caught it at the 15-yard line, running out far side. Nothing but air in front of him, and it's his 2nd touchdown of the game. Wow. So the tight end, who had limited receptions coming into this game, already has 2, both for touchdowns. And going back to that was 3rd and 9.
Right, and that comes back to our pass coverage deep down the field. We haven't been able to do very well with it all year. And if you're Bluefield College, you got to think coming into this game, we're not going to see a whole lot of deep passes, a whole lot of passes at all. So this has to have caught them off guard early in this ballgame.
Especially with them bringing in a new quarterback who has been more of a passing option here.
Right.
Now Cole Gleason in for the PAT. High snap, hold is down, kick is up, and end over end through the uprights, good. And now 20-7 with 2:22 left to go in the first quarter. Scoring has not stopped, folks. St. Andrews has scored touchdowns last 3 drives, but Bluefield trying to come back when we come back here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. It's 20-7. Huge pass by Deshaun Ferguson has allowed the Knights to jump to a 20-7 lead after Jermaine Trotman made another catch, the freshman from Virginia Beach, Virginia. So far today has 2 touchdowns, and that has shocked the Bluefield College Rams, thinking that this was going to be a primarily run offense. But so far today, 2 touchdowns from the freshman quarterback from North Carolina. Malik Brown, also from North Carolina, back to receive this kick from Cole Gleason. Dances up to the ball and boots it away. And instead, it's going to be Jeffrey Hughes who will receive it at the 6-yard line. Goes diagonally, going for the far sideline, across the 25. Now spins around, looking for room to run, still on his feet. And he made a bad decision right there to go backwards after being tackled by Cody Emonson, the freshman linebacker from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, or rather Swansboro, North Carolina. So now Bluefield will start once again at their own 23-yard line and try to reenact that last drive where they had a 1st and 10 to start all the way back at their own 11.
Bailey, as we see Alex Martin come back onto the field, I think we can expect to see a whole lot of what we just saw on that last drive, a lot of dives up the middle.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 23. Alex Martin right back out there after Malik Brown was the leading rusher in the win over Warner. Kason Witt in the gun, and he has 2 receivers out on his left side. A high snap, and it's handed off to Martin once again. He's got a hole across the 30, and he'll spin up to the 35-yard line. Gain of 12, and the junior, once again, he's been plugging along today. Another first down for Bluefield. So they'll spot it at the 36, rather, under 2 minutes left to go here in this first quarter. 20-7 the score. Once again, in the shotgun, Bluefield with no huddle. Another handoff to Martin, this time on the right side after he breaks through the first arm tackler. Gets across the 40 and up to, looks like the 43-yard line. And he was tackled by Josh Jones.
St. Andrews brings in an entirely new defensive line. You got to wonder if they're tired. It's only the second or it's only the third play of the drive.
The Rams not huddling up still as another handoff to Alex Martin straight up the middle. Room to run, bustling across the 50 and up to the 46-yard line. Another fresh set of downs for the Rams. And Alex Martin's probably got to be tired as well. 5'10", 225, and like we said, here comes the freshman, Rashad Butler, to help out his fellow North Carolinian, as Rashad Butler from Winston-Salem also has been pretty impressive here in his first year of collegiate football. Another handoff to Butler. Butler sprinting up to the 41-yard line before the secondary came in and crushed him to the ground. But still, gain of 4 for the Bluefield College Rams. It'll be 2nd and 6.
And baby, this is when being an offensive coordinator is fun. You
Right.
just call pretty much the same play over and over again, and if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Everything is working so far as Witt has another snap, and he'll hand it off to Butler, and this time looked like it was broke after Josh Jones busted through the line of scrimmage and made the tackle. Butler looks like he lost about 1 right there. It's going to be 3rd and 6 for Bluefield. 20-7 the score with under 30 seconds left to go. As a matter of fact, 19 seconds left here in this first quarter. And it looks like Bluefield will try to run another play. 7 men in the box, lining up in a 4-3. Now a man in motion. Witt rolls out left. Pump fake. Shakes off a tackler. Now looking for Strickland. And a little too far. Freshman could not make the catch, and it'll be 4th and 6. And here comes the punt team. And that will be it for the first quarter. 20-7. We've got a relatively high-scoring affair here at Mitchell Stadium after SAU has scored on their last 3 drives. Bluefield will have 4th down when we come back here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody. It's 20-7 to start out the second quarter, and it's also 4th and 6 for Drake Presley and the Bluefield punt team now coming out to boot it away to Kendrick Ivey, who's back to his own 10-yard line. Presley has to worry about those high snaps from Devin Jackson, this time straight on target, and the right-footed kicker will boot a high, wobbly kick, bouncing at the 5, rolling out towards the corner, and it looks like it was saved. Diving play, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 2-yard line. What a play by the Bluefield special teams. Now, Nick, I thought that was a touchback all the way. Got to see who was about to make that play right there. And it looks like it was number 22. And it was actually 23, Isaiah Fenner. So Fenner dove out towards the 3-yard line and punched the ball back in. So now Bluefield, trying to make a stop right here, could have great field position. Well, 1st and 10 from the 2. 14:48 left to go in the second quarter. SAU back on the field with a 27 lead. Ferguson goes right up the middle on a sneak to try to get SAU out of dangerous territory, and he will plunge his way across the 5 for a small gain of about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 up at the 6. Still can't get over that special teams play.
No, that was incredible. That was a great hustle play by Isaiah there. And Drake Presley, once again, flipping field position and helping out our defense quite a bit.
Absolutely. So it's 20-7. Take a look at a few of these stats when we get this play over with here. Ferguson has a man out on the far sideline, now under center. And he'll fake the handoff, take it himself, runs up to the 10-yard line. And after that fake fullback dive, the quarterback will have now 3rd and manageable up. It's about 3rd and 2 right at the 10-yard line.
This would be a big stop for this Bluefield defense. If we could possibly push them back 3 or 40 yards and make this young team punt from their own end zone.
Well, the passing yards for Ferguson so far today as we get this stat sheet at the end of the first quarter, 113 yards for the freshman that we did not know was going to start today. And now Bluefield has to make a stop. It's 3rd and 2, putting a lot of men on the line of scrimmage. Hands off right up the middle, very close, and the ball possibly came out right at the last second. And he probably won't have the first down. And a good stop by the Bluefield defense. Had to get the ball up to about the 13. And that was Chris Decker. So Decker, another fullback option. And it is going to be 4th down possibly, but now they are going to bring out the sticks to measure. 13-22 with this referee timeout.
This will be a big stop for Bluefield if they're actually short.
So the sticks are around. Have to see if they are short. And they are. 4th and inches. A great stop for Bluefield. And now it looks like the Knights will send out the punt team. So trying to play a battle of field position, going back to that play with Isaiah Fetter. Bluefield able to hold them up, and now the punt team will come out for the Rams. And Tyrese Henry back to receive a punt, joined with Charles Black. So Bluefield throwing 2 men in the mix to possibly receive this punt. And to punt for the Knights, it'll be number 40, Carson Gibbs, about a yard deep in his own end zone as the Knights are going left to right. Gibbs under pressure, sends a spree, breaks the 40, room to run at the 30, flags coming down, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Bluefield. Flag back at the 35-yard line, and it looks like, Nick, this might come back. If it holds up, though, Tyrese Henry with a 45-yard punt return touchdown, but we got to see what the call is right here. Flags all the way back at the 34-yard line. And boy, this would suck the air out of the stadium. Holding on Bluefield, and it will not be a touchdown. So the flag's back at the 34, so Bluefield likely to start in still relatively good field position.
Right. But it's hard when it's always hard when a penalty wipes off 6 points off the board. That was an incredibly explosive punt return and something that we could have carried it throughout the rest of this quarter, but unfortunately a holding call brings it all the way back.
And still, that's the first time this year that we have seen Bluefield run with 2 punt returners. Now they had Charles Black back as well, but now Bluefield has a 1st and 10 at the Knights' 44-yard line. Shotgun snap. Witt fakes the handoff. He'll take it himself and rushes up to the 40-yard line. A gain of 4 as Kason Witt has his first carry of the ball game.
And Bailey St. Andrews had that played absolutely perfectly. They had a blitzing linebacker come in to cover Witt on the read option, and Witt made a very wise decision and just decided to stick it up the middle and ended up gaining 4 yards off a play that should have gained none.
High snap will hand it off to Martin, looking for a stiff arm on the edge, and instead tackled for no gain. Josh Jones making the tackle for SAU. And now it'll be 3rd and 6 with the clock ticking at 12:10 in this first half. So it will be 3rd and 6, Bluefield taking their time right here. They have been quick there in that first drive that let them go to the end zone. 3rd and 6. Witt in the gun, or rather Churchy Harold. Or no, it's Witt offside. He's got a free play. Looks downfield. Now he's going to take it. 35-30. Has a first down up to the 25-yard line, and he's tackled. It'll be 1st and 10, and it looks like it was a free play.
Right, and free play, you always want to think, well, hey, let's throw deep and see what happens. But that was still a good play. We still got quite a bit of a gain off that.
So it will be an offside. They'll decline the penalty. And Bluefield, for the second time today, a big play off of a free play where they had that touchdown here in the first quarter. Alex Martin's touchdown with 7 yards actually came after a false, or rather an encroachment penalty by SAU. Now once again in the gun, Covington, the receiver here on the near sideline. And a handoff to Rashad Butler, trying to bounce it out right, but instead another tackle for Josh Jones. And Bluefield, no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 25. Sun coming down here, no clouds in sight, just a few over the horizon. And the sun just kissing the trees on the mountains on the right side here at Mitchell Stadium. Bluefield actually rushing into a dark corner at Mitchell Stadium because one of the banks of lights here actually went out last night. Kason Witt under pressure, dumps off a screen to Rashad Butler, has some blockers, cuts out near sideline at the 15, 10, 5, and he is knocked, but still on his feet as he goes out of bounds. It'll be a Bluefield 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Perfect screen pass right there.
Right, and Bailey, this is the most explosive we've seen this Bluefield College offense all season. We've seen lots of plays that have gone for 15-plus yards, and this is really starting to be fun to watch.
So now it's 10:33 left to go here in this first half. Witt in the gun. He has Rashad Butler on his left. Hands off to Butler, and Butler immediately tackled after the handoff by Benjamin Houston, the defensive tackle. It's a small loss for the Rams. Still 20-7, though, and now a new running back brought in. It'll be Malik Brown for Rashad Butler. So 2nd and 6, 20-7 the score, 10:08 left to go in the second quarter. Bluefield knocking on the door, 2nd and goal. Lining up in the pistol, has 2 receivers bunched out far sideline. They're showing blitz, hands it off to Brown, trying to bounce outside, broke the first tackle and instead tackled for a loss of 3. And SAU saw that play from yesterday, Nick.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I don't think Nostradamus had to predict that one. It's a loss of 3, 3rd and 9.
And this is a spot that's hard for any team. Is this 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line situation? It's a tough play. Your playbook doesn't have many plays for it.
On the far hash, Bluefield, Witt under pressure, breaks off the first sacker, fires in the middle, and it is incomplete. He had Antonio Strickland open, but instead he threw a fastball right into the turf, and now Bluefield will try to kick a field goal here from the 9-yard line. Squandered opportunity for a touchdown.
And Bailey, this is 2 weeks in a row. We've seen lots of great opportunities. We've seen Case Witt make plays with his feet and keep his eyes down the field. We just haven't connected on them just yet, but watch out because eventually we will start connecting on them.
So now this will be a 26-yarder for Tanner Griffith. And Griffith scored 7 of the points last week in the win. Now going for 3 more. It's 20-7. Snap, hold is down, kick is away, and end over end through the uprights. The freshman adds 3 to the board as Bluefield completes a scoring drive. It's 20-10 with 9:16 left to go in the second quarter. A lot of offense here at Mitchell Stadium when we come back. Fourth affair here at Mitchell Stadium. Scoring drive ending with a field goal 26 yards from Tanner Griffith, who's right back out there to kick once again. It is 20-10. St. Andrews in their first year of a program looking for their second win of the year. They are 1-4, while Bluefield going for that magic 3-3. It's 9:16 left to go in the second quarter as they have two men back deep to receive, Kendrick Ivory and Jalen Burton. But instead, it's caught at the 20-yard line, now up at the 30, and Bluefield will send the house to bring down the ball carrier up at the 35-yard line. So that is where the Knights will start, and they have scored on their past three drives, Nick. Bluefield really needs to make a stop.
Right.
They stopped them on the last drive, but before that, it was three in a row.
And those were both on the first play of the drive after a big momentum shift with our defense coming out. So let's see if we can slow down this offense, slow down this running attack, and adjust to the passing attack that we were not expecting in this game.
Well, Deshaun Ferguson has aired it out. 2 touchdown passes to Jermaine Trotman. Now a man in motion as Ferguson fakes the handoff. He'll take it himself. Hurdling now at the 50, still on his feet into Bluefield territory, crossing the 40 all the way up to the 37-yard line. And the triple option stayed on the ground that time, and it worked out for a big gain. It'll be 1st and 10, now down in Rams territory. And that freshman quarterback obviously wasn't part of the game plan for Bluefield so far.
No, not at all. I don't think we were prepared for him at all, and I don't think we were prepared for his arm. But he's shown us that he can run this triple option and he can make the right reads, and he's very, very smart with the football.
He'll go under center once again. 1st and 10, under 9 minutes left to go here in this second quarter. Now he looks at his sideline looking for an audible as Bluefield has 7 men in the box. Tracy Parker Jr. out on the far edge. Now a man in motion. Flicks it out to Godwin. He makes the catch at the 35, now up at the 30. Still on his feet, dancing down the sideline and stumbling all the way up to the 10. And Bluefield has a man down once again. So with the injury, still a 1st and 10 for St. Andrews. Probably a first and 10 at the 12-yard line. Thought it was going to be 1st and goal. Have to see who the man down is for the Rams. And it looks like that is number 29, Philip Tyler. So Tyler laying down, looks to be pretty shaken up at the 34-yard line. Triple option has been hampering Bluefield here on this drive, and they had decent field position starting out at the 35-yard line, Nick, and with a couple of rushes already knocking on the door for another touchdown as they're already leading 20-10.
And the story of the day for the St. Andrews offense is big plays. That's where they've gotten a majority of their yardage. They've yet to really methodically drive down the field on our defense. It's 1 or 2 big plays, and that's really hampered our defense.
So it is a 10-point lead for St. Andrews as Philip Tyler is still on the ground. Dewey Lusk, head coach of Bluefield, looking for his 3rd win on the year. And he is talking with Philip Tyler right now, who is still laying flat on his back. But looks like Bluefield has also gotten pushed on their back on the defensive end so far here in this first half. They have had no answer but Sean Ferguson.
And it's tough. It's tough when you have a quarterback that comes into the game that the entire week, and also you have no film on this guy. You have no idea what he can do. You don't particularly know his ability, and he's young, so he's never really played college football. It's going to be a game of adjustments, and we're going to see how we adjust throughout the game. 1st
and 10 from the 12-yard line. They have to go for 1st and goal at the 2. McNeil is the running back, and they'll hand it off to the bruiser. And Bluefield, once again with that defensive front, Tracy Parker and Larry Jefferson teaming up to wrestle the running back to the ground. And it actually looked like Bryce Crawford, the center for St. Andrews, lost his helmet, so he will have to sit out of play.
Yeah, somebody lost a helmet, somebody lost a shoe. That was a mess.
It's been a tough day. tough play for the Knights. It was a gain of 1, 2nd and 9, up at the 11. And McBride was in for a split second. Larry Jefferson right back in on the edge. Decent gap here in play time as the Knights are just waltzing around looking for an answer right here. The clock is still running. It's 17 and counting. Ferguson still on the sideline talking with his coach. Play clock is down to 5. They're not calling a timeout.
There's the timeout.
And now looks like there will be a timeout.
That was very odd all the way around. You saw the player who lost his helmet go to the sideline, and everybody just kind of froze. Nobody ran onto the field. I'm not sure if they didn't have another line.
They did have another center.
Yeah, that was – I'm pretty sure he has to still sit out of play.
So it will be 2nd and 9 from the 11 as we take a quick break to try to see what just happened right there. 7:05, and they are at the 11 with St. Andrews knocking on the door. Back here at Mitchell Stadium after the oddest timeout we have seen so far in the 2017 season. Bryce Crawford, the center, lost his helmet, and SAU didn't seem to have another option at the center position, which is something to expect with such a young program. 2nd and 9 at the Bluefield 11 as Ferguson is under center. Goes out left, looking to flick it, and Bluefield once again making a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Brandon Kale sandwiching with the linebacker Caleb Jackson for Bluefield. And it will be a short gain up to the 10-yard line. So now 3rd and 7. Have to get up to the 3.
And Bailey, I've harped on adjustments this entire game. St. Andrews has gone away from the traditional triple option, thrown an extra fullback in there, and just have been running lead options. So you have 2 lead blockers along with your quarterback being able to run and a pitch man.
3rd and 7. Bluefield could use a stop. It's 20-10 with 6.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Ferguson's in the gun, now rushing out right, pitches, and it's reversed. Trotman has it, going out left, dancing near the near sideline and into the end zone. Touchdown. The tight end has 3 TDs already in this game, and it's 26-10.
What a play. We're getting beat. We're getting beat on the edge. That's been our biggest problem so far this game is we've been beat around the edge. Up the middle, we've held strong, but beat on the edge and beat with a deep passing attack.
Well, I should have said the far sideline, but either way, another touchdown, 6-16. 26-10 the score. Cole Gleason out, trying to cap off another touchdown drive for the St. Andrews Knights. Snap is high, kick is away, and good. Another touchdown for Jermaine Trotman, and it is 27-10 with 6:16 left to go in the half here at Mitchell Stadium. Shocking events here at Mitchell Stadium as a first-year team has came into the Virginias and, quite frankly, shocked the Rams here in the first half of play. It is 27-10, 6:16 left to go in the second quarter, and Jermaine Trotman has 3 touchdowns, and that time on an end-around option play where they went out for the corner on the far sideline. So now Cole Gleason in to kick once again. Malik Brown back to receive for the Rams. Swing of the right leg, and it is a knuckler just bouncing near the 20-yard line and picked up by Hughes on the far sideline, and he'll scurry out of bounds over at the 26. So Bluefield will start out at their own 26-yard line, and now down 17, you have to kind of depend on those offensive inefficiencies to stop.
Right, and we're going to have to start throwing the ball a little bit. We're down 17, 6 minutes left. And not to question Bluefield's preparation coming into this game, but when you come into a game against a team that's 1-4, it's their first year as a program, you got to think that Bluefield might not have taken this as seriously as they should have. And St. Andrews has come out and made us pay for it early in this game.
Well, St. Andrews absolutely plunked by Pikeville last week. It was 41-6. They're 1-4. Their only win on the year is against Cincinnati Christian. So far, Bluefield looking like they might get a loss today. And now that's the first reception of the year by Churchy Harold with a stutter step, and he'll move up to the 30-yard line. And the former quarterback now showing his way as a new weapon for Bluefield, and it's a 3-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Walter Harold is an incredible athlete. He's very good in space, and he's very, very shifty. So let's see if we can get him the ball on some quick screens or some quick outs and let him do his work.
Well, Witt trying to throw the ball down the field at one time as well, as he hands it off to Martin. Has to break through the first tackler behind the line of scrimmage, and will work up for no gain up to the 30. So maybe about an 8 right there for Bluefield, and now it's a quick 3rd and 6. Rams can't really afford another 3 and out because the defense has not been able to make a stop at all. So really, they have to get at least 2 first downs to play some sort of field position chess match with St. Andrews. But so far, Bluefield has to convert on these 3rd downs, and they haven't done it today. 3 receivers on the near sideline, and blitz showing, an offside coming. It's a free play. Witt hanging one deep for Strickland, and it is incomplete, trying to turn around at the 30-yard line, but Bluefield likely to get 5 yards, close to a first down after the blitz was an offside.
And Witt took a heck of a shot there as he released that ball very high. A lot of head contact, and the referee was right there, but he thought nothing of it.
So Chris Smith was showing blitz, and he almost got behind the line, and that will move the chain. So it was 3rd and 5. Result of the play, 5 yards. So now, a result of the penalty is a 5-yard penalty. And it's a 1st and 10 at the 36. So Bluefield catching a break. Case and Witt staying on the field. Got Malik Brown right behind him, and he'll hand it off to the shifty running back, and he will get up to the 43-yard line. A gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd and 3.
And going back to your point about getting these first downs and having a drive, not only does our defense needs a break. They need a breather. They've been on the field so much, and with how many 3 and outs we've had so far, they come right off, and then 5 minutes later they're back on.
Now 2nd and 3, a handoff to Brown. He rushes, breaks a tackle at the 43, or 46 rather, and he's close to a first down marker, and it will be, moving the chains up to the 47. On the right hash, 1st and 10 for Malik Brown. And Bluefield has a drive going with under 5 minutes left to go in the 2nd quarter. 1st and 10 at the 48. Brown has stayed in. Not much of Rashad Butler today, just mainly Malik Brown as well as Alex Martin. Another handoff to Brown, trying to cut it up near sideline. Curry's up across the 45 and dances up to the 42 before he's tackled, pushed out of bounds by Justin Hector White. That's close to a first down as the Rams are now in Knights territory. It'll be 2nd and 1.
And Bailey, this is the 2nd week in a row that we've seen a lot of Malik Brown back there at running back.
Was the leading rusher against the Royals last week. Now 2nd and 1 at the 43-yard line. 2 receivers out right. Witt, play action, drops back, stays in the pocket, and the pass incomplete to Antonio Strickland. A little bit behind him, but he probably still could have hauled that in. And now it'll be 3rd and 1. Likely to go with a run right here, Nick, don't you think?
Yeah, you have to. Bring Alex Martin in, which is exactly what they're doing right now. And you just got to give him the ball and let him run up the middle and do what he's dominated doing all day today.
Rams need a push from that offensive line. 3rd and 1 from the 43. Witt hands it off to Martin, right up the middle, chunking his way close to a first down, still on his feet, trying to wrestle through the tacklers. And boy, what a powerful play right there. Quante Hines, the center, pretty pumped up for his running back. Bluefield will move the chains at the 36-yard line.
That's just pure effort. The big man keeping his feet going, refusing to go down, and dragging quite a few St. Andrews Knights on the way with him.
And now that should have been about a gain of 1, but instead, it's about a gain of 6.
Another thing with Walter Harold going to wide receivers, he could be used as much of a decoy as he could be an offensive threat.
Harold was in, and now Witt, snap, hands it off. He'll take it himself, rather, and he can't break that tackle. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Nathan Belch, and it's a loss of 2. Not a great read by the redshirt junior from Massaponax High School. Now Harold right back in. Got to see if they'll throw it out to the newly ordained slot receiver. 2nd and 12 from the 39. So check that. 2nd and 13. High snap for Witt. Dumps it off for Harold. He caught it at the 35. Broke off the first tackler and inched his way up to the 32. It'll be a gain of 7, and Bluefield has a critical 3rd down. 2:45 left to go.
That's exactly what we needed on that play. We needed to get it to 3rd manageable, and that's exactly where we are. And Cason Wentz looked at Antonio Strickland many times in this situation so far today.
27-10 the score. Bluefield down by 17, still working a decent drive with Malik Brown now in as the running back. 2 receivers on each side, and another offside. Free play, and they'll just blow the whistle this time because Witt probably would have gotten jacked up on an linebacker. Josh Jones went right across the line of scrimmage, and that has been 3 times today where the Knights have jumped offside, and now looks like it's going to be 3rd and 1 for Bluefield. So this changes it altogether.
Right, and that just goes back to St. Andrews being such a young team and coming into college football and trying to learn these new cadences. They're a lot more complex than what they're used to. And like you said, they've jumped 3 times so far.
Malik Brown staying in. Bluefield once again in the gun for 3rd and 1 at the 27-yard line. A blitz coming. Witt fires it out to Harold. Jukes now across the 25 going towards the sideline, and he's wrestled out of bounds. Harold has 1st down yardage, and he was tackled that time by Darius West, the defensive end. And West, no malcontent right there with the tackle as Harold got up and gave him a high five right after the tackle went kind of out of bounds. Either way, a 4-yard gain for the Rams. 1st and 10, now in the red zone at the 23-yard line with under 2 minutes left before halftime. Witt, hand off to Brown, right up the middle, rushes up across the 15 and dances to the 12-yard line before he's brought down, and it's a gain of 9. Nope, gain of 10. They're going to move the chains.
And this is exactly what Bluefield needed as the St. Andrews player is down. We needed a slow drive. We needed to get a bunch of 1st downs.
Player down is Christian Scott, who is gimping and hopping off of the field. 1st and 10, now from the 12-yard line. Bluefield looking for a touchdown. Last time they were down this deep, they got all the way down to the 6, Nick. Kind of faltered there at the end and were forced to kick a field goal.
Which is tough. That's something that we've struggled with this season, is getting inside the red zone and leaving the red zone with 6 points rather than 3, or 7 points rather than 3. So getting to this point in the year, about halfway through, is when we need to start figuring it out. And then that chemistry that we've talked about all season needs to start coming to fruition, and we need to start scoring points.
Well, the run game has worked today between Alex Martin, and you saw right there a 10-yard rush by Malik Brown. Another handoff to Brown, right up the middle, rushing into the end zone. A touchdown, Bluefield. 12 yards across the goal line, and the young man from Charlotte, North Carolina, puts Bluefield back on the board. It's 27-16.
That was a heck of a drive all around. We ran about 4 minutes off the clock and ended with 6 points, and that's exactly what we needed.
So now, pending an extra point, Bluefield will be down just by 10 here. Tanner Griffith right back in. Get Bluefield within a manageable distance with 1:28 left to go in the first half. Swing of the leg, kick is up, and the end-over-end kick sneaks through the uprights, and now it is 27-17. Bluefield with a good drive, showing that they can manage on 3rd down opportunities, and Malik Brown capping it off with a 12-yard touchdown as the Rams will try to go back on defense when we come back here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Bluefield back within 10. It's 27-17 here at Mitchell Stadium with 1:28 left to go in the first half. Rams will get the ball back to start out the second half as well. So now Tanner Griffith right back in to kick the kickoff, and he'll send it deep on the near sideline. Going to be hauled in by Jalen Burton. Now rushing, and he's tackled Wow, wrestled down at the 10-yard line. And what another special teams play. Trying to see who that was, Nick. This is one of the times where it would help to have a spotter here on our broadcast.
Right, and with these jerseys all bunched up,
Yeah.
it's hard to see the difference in the numbers.
Looks like that, yeah, Morgan Covington on the tackle, the wide receiver. So Morgan Covington making a huge tackle, and it will be 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line for Deshaun Ferguson. Bluefield trying to hope that the Knights won't have any room to go here as Ferguson fakes the first handoff, and he's tackled. Triple option didn't work that time. It was Larry Jefferson making the tackle for Bluefield. A loss of 1. It'll be 2nd and 11. And Bluefield actually calling a timeout. So it looks like the Rams want to make a couple of quick plays here and possibly get the ball back.
Right, and that's a very aggressive strategy here by Dewey Lusk, but I like it when you're down 10 points in the second half, or in the second quarter of a game that is very winnable and that you should be competing a lot closer in, and I think I like this.
Well, the Rams, it's not like they scored that fast, though, on that last drive. So Bluefield does have to make a couple of stops, and then they have to execute on big plays. They still get the ball back in the second half. They deferred. They won the coin toss. So if they're able to get a stop here, maybe get another drive, it's still not the end of the world because they get the ball right back after half.
Right, we're not in bad shape at all. That's exactly what we need to do. We need to get a stop, get the ball back, and continue this offense that has been clicking here in this second quarter.
2nd and 12. 1:15 left here in the first half. Bluefield with some momentum right here after that last drive and the touchdown from Malik Brown. Rams with 7 men in the box. Ferguson under center. Now a man in motion. Pitches it out. And now Jacob Rushing, who has a touchdown in this game, rushes for another first down across the 25 up to the 26, and that'll stop the clock at 1:07 and a 1st and 10. So Bluefield will likely not call another timeout here. But if you're the Knights, maybe try to go for the end zone because your quarterback does have an arm.
And they've beat us deep twice so far for touchdowns, so you got to foresee that coming if you're the Bluefield defense. Especially the middle section of that secondary that has struggled this season. If I was St. Andrews, I'd be looking for a deep post and trying to exploit that for the second time this game for a touchdown.
1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Lining up in the wishbone once again. They're using the triple option as Ferguson will just sneak forward. And that is just a way to see if Bluefield was awake, and they were. Now 30 seconds left to go here in this first half, and that will likely be it. Knights still on the field, Bluefield as well. Now at 21 seconds, 27-17 the score. Rams have done a good job of keeping this close on that last drive, capped off with a 12-yard touchdown from Malik Brown. But still, has to be shocking with how well the Knights have been on offense today, Nick.
Absolutely. They came out throwing. When I was prepping for this game, they only had about 38 pass attempts in the entire season. So I know that I did not foresee them coming into this game throwing the ball, and I didn't see the quarterback that they had planned on playing this game. They've had a heck of a first half. They've really beat us on the perimeter. Offensively, they've been getting to the corner and beating us with pure speed there. And defensively, they've stopped us. We've had many 3-and-outs this first half. And let's see the adjustments that we can make at halftime. It's going to be a brand new ball game when we come back out.
Bluefield in a shootout. It's 27-17 after SAU shocks Bluefield in the first half thanks to Deshaun Ferguson as well as Jermaine Trotman. But the Rams keeping it close, only down by 10. 27 here at halftime on the Rams Digital Sports Network.
games this week. Arkansas State defeated Georgia Southern 43-25. NC State defeated Louisville 39-25. Memphis over Connecticut 70-31. Boise State over BYU 24-7. Tulane over Tulsa 62-28. Clemson defeated Wake Forest 28-14. Texas Tech defeated Kansas 65-19. Iowa State defeated number 3 Oklahoma 38-31. Iowa defeated Illinois 45-16. Penn State defeated Northwestern 31-7. Toledo defeated Eastern Michigan 20-15. Georgia defeated Vanderbilt 45-14. Auburn defeated Mississippi 44-23. Temple defeated East Carolina 34-10. Virginia defeated Duke 28-21. Syracuse over Pittsburgh 27-24. Central Michigan defeated Ohio 26-23. Bowling Green over Miami 37-29. Middle Tennessee State defeated Florida International 37-17. Louisiana Monroe 45, Texas State 29. Notre Dame defeated North Carolina 33-10. Indiana defeated Charleston Southern 27-0. Northern Illinois 24, Kent State 3. Akron defeated Ball State 31-3. LSU 17, Florida 16. Final. Navy defeated Air Force 48-45. Appalachian State 45, New Mexico State 31. TCU 31, West Virginia 24. USC 38, Oregon State 10. UAB took 23. Louisiana State 22. Games in progress. In the fourth quarter, Miami 24, Florida State 20. Fourth quarter, Purdue 16, Minnesota 14. Game just finished, Buffalo 38, Western Michigan 37. In the fourth quarter, Ohio State 62, Maryland 7. In the fourth quarter, South Carolina 41, Arkansas 16. Fourth quarter, Colorado State 27, Utah State 7. Third quarter, Louisiana Lafayette 21, Idaho 13. Second quarter, Florida Atlantic 24, Old Dominion 14. Halftime, Marshall 7, UNC Charlotte nothing. First quarter, Army 21, Rice nothing. Second quarter, Georgia State 14, Coastal Carolina nothing. First quarter, SMU 3, Houston nothing. No score, Kansas State, Texas first quarter. University of Texas, San Antonio 3, Southern Mississippi nothing first quarter. Just underway, Virginia Tech and Boston College, and just underway, Alabama and Texas A&M.
Back here at halftime, about 8 minutes left to go before we kick off the third quarter. Bluefield down 27-17 to first-year program St. Andrews University, Nick, and I think that this team of freshmen kind of cut the Rams off guard there in the first half.
Right, they caught everybody off guard, for me and you included, coming out throwing the ball with their quarterback being 4 of 5 for 113 and 2 touchdowns. That's not something that we expected coming into this game, and quite frankly, it caught us off guard. It caught our defense off guard, along with their ability to get on the edge and beat us around the corner on that option.
Well, Deshaun Ferguson was a guy that wasn't even on the two deep when we got it on Tuesday. We thought it was going to be Keyshawn Brown or Kevin Otto, but instead they sent out another option, and so far he's been the right one today because he's been able to air the ball out. And Jermaine Trotman, 2 receptions, both for touchdowns, 93 yards for the big fella, and he also has a rushing touchdown on that end-around pitch that they gave to him. Thought that they were going to go with the triple option outright, but instead Trotman with that short touchdown rushing into the corner. But Bluefield, though, on their offensive end, even though they are down by 10, they have looked promising today, especially in the rush attack.
Right, Alex Martin with 13 attempts and 85 yards and a touchdown. And that one 89-yard drive that we had, he was the catalyst of that, scoring that touchdown. But not to be forgotten, Malik Brown with 11 carries with 56 yards and 1 touchdown as well.
Well, we also saw Antonio Strickland, and you can kind of see the freshman getting a little bit better, but still struggling a tad bit. There were passes by Case and went a little bit behind him. Looked like Antonio Strickland probably still could have caught it, but he does have 1 reception for 31 yards. And also, with the most receptions in the first half, Walter Harreld has 3 for just 14 yards, but now we're starting to see his option more so as a wide receiver for this Bluefield team rather than being a quarterback.
And Dewey Les seeing Walter Harrod's athleticism and not wanting to keep him off the field. If he's not going to play quarterback, he said, hey, let's throw him out at the slot receiver. He's had 3 receptions today, and he's looked good. The few games that he played at quarterback, he wanted to get into space when he ran the ball. He wanted to get out there, just didn't have time. So now putting him at the slot receiver, giving him 2 screens and that short pass, it puts him in space, and it lets him do what he wants to do.
And I think, Nick, a big teller right here for Bluefield so far in this game, you look at how they've been able to have longer drives, whereas the Knights have scored twice on one-play drives with that big touchdown from Jacob Rushing, as well as the 30-yard touchdown pass to Jermaine Trotman. The Rams have 14 first downs as opposed to the Knights having 9. And I think that Bluefield, they're starting to find that offensive chemistry, but they might have to hurry up a little bit, down by 10.
Right, and slow, methodical drives, trust me, I'm the biggest fan there is of that. But coming into the second half down 10 to a team that is full of freshmen and it's their first year, they need to come out and they need to hit them in the mouth. They need to score quickly, and they need to score a lot.
Well, Bluefield will get the ball to start out the second half when we come back here at Mitchell Stadium. Still at halftime, just about 5 minutes left to go, though. 27-17, SAU up on Bluefield.
scores and information on your favorite Bluefield College athletic team? Visit bcrams.com today for all the information you're looking for. With easy navigation, student-athlete profiles, and the latest news, you won't miss a thing on Bluefield College athletics. Bluefield College athletics is everywhere you are. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube for all the information and news on the land. Not able to make it to all the BC home athletic contests? Visit the Rams Digital Sports Network. For live streaming of BC College athletics, visit bcrams.com for the link and follow along with clear, crisp HD pictures. Bluefield College will receive the second half kickoff.
Back here for the second half. Bluefield down by 10 here at Mitchell Stadium. And they are just about ready to drive as Cole Gleason will kick off going left to right for SAU. And it will be another line drive on the ground, and it's picked up at the 35-yard line, now inching up to the 40 before hitting a wall of Knights. And Bluefield will start out with great field position. Not sure why they would kick it deep, because that's worked twice today for the Knights.
Right, and Bailey, I'm wondering the same thing. I'm wondering if it goes back to that punt return that was wiped off the board by the penalty, or the fact that they just straight up have a lot of confidence in their defense and don't respect our offense very much, that they can kick it to the 40 and still be able to hold us.
Well, Bluefield will have 60 yards to go if they will try to convert this for 6 more or 7 points. Down by 10, 14-54, going right to left. Bluefield in the dark now here at Mitchell Stadium as it's a handoff to Malik Brown. He's inching up across the 45 and tackled at the 46-yard line. Gain of 6 for Bluefield, and a good way to start out. They have found some rhythm in the run game between Malik Brown as well as Alec Martin. Not so much Rashad Butler in this game, but going with their upperclassmen. Brown, a sophomore, and they'll hand it off to him going near sideline, trying to bounce outside, still rushing. A stiff arm at the 50-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds by Nathan Belch, and that's very close to first down yardage for Bluefield. Have to see where the referee spot it. And it will be spotted at the 50, first down Bluefield.
And that's exactly what we need. 2 plays, we already got a first down on this drive. We just need to keep rolling. Our offensive line needs to get back to like they were on that one drive where we drove it 89 yards and they dominated.
Brown was the leading rusher in last week's game. Now a high snap, a handoff to Brown, and he's brought down for a loss of 5. Way back there was a high snap from Hines, and Chris Smith was blitzing, and he made Bluefield pay. Snaps have not really worked out today, so they'll give him some forward momentum there. It's actually up to the 48. It looked like he was tackled back at the 45. Now Bluefield will have 2nd and 12 from their own 48-yard line. Alex Martin now in as the running back once again. 3 receivers are signed for Witt. And now a flag. Looks like a false start on Bluefield. So after the first down, going backwards.
And this seems to be a negative trend that we've had this far this season is we'll get that first down. Next play will be a loss, and then we'll start getting penalties. And we haven't been able to overcome those yet early in this season. And we just need to mature and figure out how to overcome adversity.
Well, they had that rhythm in the run game in the first half, and now hampering them with a couple of bad plays with a high snap, and now the false start. 2nd and 17 from the 43. Witt whips it out to Martin, far sideline, and he will pummel his way up near the 46 out of bounds. And it's only a gain of 3 on the short running back pass. It'll be 3rd and 14.
And once again, you see Kason Witt dropping back, looking for his primary receiver deep down the field. Doesn't see him. Hits that hot route out of the backfield.
Well, Kason Witt was 6 of 10 in the first half. Not necessarily Bluefield airing it out there in the first half, but now they might have to here. 3rd and 14. Have to get it all the way up to the SAU 40. Couple of hard counts from Witt. Play action, looks down the middle, hangs one deep, looking for Strickland, caught at the 20, now still on his feet, and they actually blew the whistle. Strickland didn't really try to sell that at all. He said he was down on one knee. It looked like from up here he could have kept going, but instead he just jogged it off, and now they have 1st and 10 at the 20.
And, baby, that's the second week in a row that we've seen an absolute acrobatic catch with a defender draped all over Antonio Strickland, and he's coming along very nicely.
1st and 10 at the 20, a big pass for Witt. 3 receivers on the left as he hands it off to Butler this time, and he will rush up to the 20 for no gain. Now Rashad Butler being in as the red zone running back for Bluefield. So after the big pass, they go stagnant. It'll be 2nd and 10. And actually giving him a small loss, 2nd and 11. Bluefield receivers out on the right side of the line. It's Churchy Harold in the slot. Drops back for a screen pass. Butler has it, rushing on the near sideline, and he goes all the way up to the 3. Almost there for another touchdown, but Bluefield has very close to the end zone now. It'll be 1st and goal.
And that was a very quickly developed screenplay. That's the quickest developed screenplay that we've had this season, and it worked very well. Quante Hines snapping the ball and being able to get out and be one of those lead blockers.
Down by 10, 11:52 on the clock. Now a blitz, handoff to Butler right up the middle, bustling towards the end zone, and tackled at the 1-yard line. But there is a flag on the field.
And Billy, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's another offsides call.
They have tried to jump the blitz, but the timing has not been there for the Knights so far. And you can expect that from a team that literally starts all freshmen.
Right.
And looking for the call, Bluefield trying to get up to the 1-yard line. And it is an offside. Penalty is declined, and the offside was called on Andrew Austin, who was blitzing. So now Witt will be under center, 2nd and 1 from the goal line with 11:44. Handoff, or rather a sneak, and is he in? Still looking for the signal. In there, touchdown, Kason Witt. So a cornerback sneak caps off a great drive to start out the 3rd quarter, and to open up the 2nd half, Bluefield gets 6.
And that's exactly what we needed. We needed that touchdown to get back into this ball game, and Kason Witt again managing very well and ended up poking that one in there.
So now Tanner Griffith trying to make this a 3-point ball game. Looking for the PAT with 11:35 left to go. Snap, hold is down, kick gets away, and good. 27-24 after the 1-yard rush from Kason Witt. And now 11:35 left to go in the 3rd quarter. We got a ball game again. Bluefield was down by 17, now only down by 3, and they're kicking away when we come back.
Score.
27-24 the score. Bluefield opening up the 3rd quarter with a big touchdown drive after a huge pass down to Antonio Strickland, who has a couple of big receptions in this game. Tanner Griffith back to kick at the Bluefield 35-yard line. And it looks like Ivy and Burton back to receive this one. End-over-end kick on the far sideline, and it will be received this time by Trotman. So now Trotman will sprint across the 30 before being wrestled out of bounds at the 32-yard line, and that is where the Knights will start. Well, we saw there in that drive, the blitzes have been coming every time from the Knights.
Right, and that's getting. They're trying to get a lot of pressure on this read option attack that we've been running, and they're also trying to clog up the middle where Alex Martin has dominated. So they have had those 4 offside calls, but at the same time, they're still getting to Kason Witt and laying big hits on him.
So this is the first time we see Deshaun Ferguson here in the 2nd half. He had one heck of a first half, really blowing Bluefield out of the water there in the first quarter. They were up in this game 27-17, but Bluefield, or 27-10 rather, Bluefield has scored 14 unanswered. First play of the drive is an incomplete pass intended on the far side for Kashard Cohens, and it was in the dirt, so it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 32. They have passed a lot more than we expected today, because Keyshawn Brown only averaged right around 30 yards passing per game, and he was the primary starter for the Knights coming into this one. And deciding to mix it up was David Harper, their head coach, with Keyshawn Brown Deshaun Ferguson, rather, and the quarterback has made it a little bit more interesting. That time, though, bumping into his fullback, and Bluefield makes him pay. Tracy Parker Jr. just swallowing up in the middle, and it will be 3rd and 7. Now at the 35-yard line, Rams with a chance to make up and get the ball back to possibly take the lead here in the third quarter. But we have seen the Knights work well on third and manageable situations. Third and 7. Ferguson in the gun. One running back behind him, 3 receivers out right. Play action, under pressure, moving up in the pocket. Pump fake, moving around, still across the line of scrimmage for a short gain, but he won't have first down yardage as Ferguson was only able to move up to the 38.5-yard line. It'll be 4th and 4, and the punt team will come out for St. Andrews. Just what the doctor ordered as far as defense goes right there for the Rams.
Took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what we needed. We needed that stop after a score to keep the momentum on our side. And we needed to slow this offense down. Especially in that second quarter, they figured out a new play that worked, and they were running it very well. It's great that we come out, score immediately, and then get a stop.
Carson Gibbs with his second punt of the game barely gets it off, a duck punt all the way to Tyrese Henry, who jukes around after receiving it at his own 25-yard line and spins out of bounds. And Bluefield will set up for possibly a 70-something yard drive to try to get Bluefield back on top. 27-10 was the score. Now it's 27-24 with 9:56 left to go here in this third quarter. And Bluefield did not make those stops there in the first half. And now, if they can set the tone like they did, they should be able to take the lead.
Absolutely. We needed to stop those perimeter runs. And if we get St. Andrews into a passing situation, they beat us today. But, again, like we've mentioned this entire game, they have not thrown the ball much of these first couple ball games. So if we put them in that's unfamiliar territory for that offense.
Malik Brown is the running back right behind Witt. Hands it off to Brown, and he is swallowed up right behind the line of scrimmage. And that was just a great blitz by SAU. Cody Emonson combining with Josh Jones to tackle the running back for a 1-yard loss to the 29.
And Billy, with all these blitzes, they're leaving man coverage on the outside and looking for Bluefield to start pulling these reads and getting it out to receivers in space and having plenty of room one-on-one on the outside.
Second and 11 from their own 29-yard line.
Witt has Brown right beside him. Backfires over the middle, and it is a short gain
up to the 35-yard line.
It was Jeffrey Hughes
made the catch, and
now Bluefield will have 3rd and 5. Jeffrey Hughes with his first reception of the ball game. And now the Rams with a down situation to see if they can possibly draw the Knights offside. They have any times. 4-man on the line of scrimmage with Brown right beside him. 7 in the box for the Knights. Blitz showing up in the middle. Now a flag. Looks like this one will be on Bluefield, though. It'll be 3rd and 10. And it was on 82, Jeffrey Hughes. So the wide receiver jumping offside, and now it's 3rd and 10 instead of 3rd and 5. Pushing the ball back to their 30. Rams going right to left, wearing the red jerseys with the white pants, going up against the white and blue Knights. In the gun is Witt. Snaps. Drops back. Looking middle. Fires out left to Brown, and he's got room in front of him. At the 45-50, 45-40. Still on his feet. 35-30, and inside the 30-yard line. Perfect play for Bluefield, and the scat back moves the Rams all the way into Knights territory.
Malik Brown snuck out of the backfield on that one. No linebacker was there to pick him up, and our receiver had run off that corner. He had plenty of green ahead of him.
And Brown absolutely had no one around. It was a broken play from the start for SAU. So now a play action. Witt looked out right. Now he's moving up the middle, and he had nowhere to go. The blitz came in, and Bluefield did not pick it up. So now it will be second and long right around the 27-yard line.
And that play results in a sack, which it looks negative on the stat sheet, but from here, that's a very veteran play by Kason Witt. He saw that his quick route was hopped by the defensive end, and if he would have thrown that, it probably would have been a pick six. So I would take the loss of maybe an inch.
Second and 10. That's exactly what it was at the 27. Now play action, looks middle, has to jog out right, points, and it looks like he's going to run. Now across the line of scrimmage and tackled almost out of bounds. That is close to being a flag, but he must have got a hand on him when he was on the turf rather than on the sideline. So a short gain for Kason Witt after he decided to tuck it and run. And now the ball moved up to the 25-yard line. It will be 3rd and 8.
That is one thing with Kason Witt that sometimes I like to question is he's a little almost too physical as a quarterback. He doesn't mind taking the hits, and he's going to try and gain that extra yard instead of maybe stepping out of bounds.
Rashad Butler now in as the running back for Bluefield. 3rd and 7 from the 24-yard line. Once again in the red zone. Witt drops back, 2 steps, now moves up, fires, and it is caught close to the first down marker, hauled in by Antonio Strickland, and he's flashing it up to the referee, said that he hauled it in, and that will move the chains for Bluefield. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line.
This is the first time we've seen a consistent passing attack from this Bluefield College offense this season.
Well, the game plan is working so far in the second half. Down by 3, 6:49 left to go in the third quarter. Delayed handoff, and Rashad Butler will inch up across the 15 and up to, it looks like, the 13-yard line. Small gain, it'll be second down. So the red zone offense trying to convert right here for Bluefield. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the 13. A little bit of wind flowing towards the right. 2 receivers on the near side. A blitz coming. As Witt hands it off to Butler, cuts back up right side, going towards the first down marker. And after pummeling a defender, he's close to moving the chains for 1st and goal. And it will be 1st and goal at the 6-yard line as now Walter Harrell back in as a slot receiver. Bluefield with a touchdown here could take the lead. It's 27-24 St. Andrews. Witt in the gun, blitz coming on the left. To hand off up the middle to Rashad Butler, and he will sprint up to the 2-yard line for a 4-yard gain. So now 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. They have given it to Butler so far here in the red zone. Possibly doing it again. Now spotted on the far hash. Another handoff to Butler. Breaks the first tackle. Still on his feet. Going towards the goal line. And he is brought down for a long 1-yard gain, if that's possible to say.
Yeah, very long 1-yard gain.
Broke a couple of tackles, and you got to love how Butler kept going. 3rd and 1 from the goal line. Sneak for Kason Witt. In towards the end zone, and they will spot him short. Just short of the goal line. It will be 4th and goal from the 1, and you got to see what Dewey Lusk does right here. Do you kick it to go for the tie, or you bring all your big boys in and try to get in towards the end zone?
And it looks like he's bringing his big fellas in, but it's always easier to say up here that you would go for it, but down there it's probably going to take the points, but that's not what he's planning on doing.
Jeremiah Wade in as the fullback. A handoff right up the middle. Is he in? Looking for the signal. He did not get in. Huge stop for SAU in Bluefield with a turnover on downs at the 1-yard line.
And that deflates you as a football
Wow.
team. That's probably the best drive that we've put together all season, and to be stopped on maybe the 1-inch line like that was just a heck of a play by that St. Andrews defense.
And the handoff was to Malik Brown. And it looked like they brought in the fullback to try to get that extra blocker, and they are just stopped so short. And instead of being up, it's still a 3-point lead. So now Bluefield's defense tasked with making another stop with 4:41 left to go in the third quarter. Ferguson still the quarterback under center. Bluefield loading up the box. And they are looking for a flag. And it looks like this might go on the Rams here, trying to jump off, just going for the safety, but it came back to bite them.
And that's something as a young defense, you got to. St. Andrews has nothing to lose if they jump off sides. That's something that almost every team is going to try when they're on their own 1 yard line, is try and get you to jump off sides and get that 5 free yards.
Well, the Rams so close to scoring a touchdown to take the lead, but instead a free 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 5 now from the 6 instead of 1st and 10 from the 1. And that gives Ferguson some breathing room, trying to get the Knights out of their own territory here. Still under center, running at Wishbone, a pitch out wide, looking for number 32, and he's got the first down up near the 15-yard line after being tackled close to being out of bounds. And it looked like the flag could be called here after the tackle by Logan Hinnett. And there will be no flag, but pretty close. Iffy tackle, Nick.
Oh, absolutely. He may or may not have been a yard out of bounds. I'm not sure what the – well, might have a flag here.
There was no flag on the field. And a sideline warning on Bluefield. And they will actually move the chains for that just a little bit further, all the way up to the 30-yard line. So 2 plays ago, Bluefield had them anchored down at the 1, but now with the clock ticking with 4.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter, all of a sudden, St. Andrews isn't in trouble anymore.
No, not at all. And Bailey, I'm not here to beat anybody up, but I'm not a fan of that call.
Now Ferguson under center once again with 3 backs behind him. Runs out left. Now pitches it to Rushing. Rushing with a hurdling move. Now still on his feet. Close to the 40, but the ball came out and rolled out of bounds. Well, Jacob Rushing has caught the Rams off guard. That's his 3rd rush of the day. And so far, every time it looks like he has just been electrified out of the backfield.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially after that 61-yard touchdown from him.
And with this option, it gives your running back the ability to get downhill a little more so than he would if he was stationary in the backfield getting a handoff. So that is a big plus that they're having. And we have a chop block, which I was actually about to point out. There are a lot of St. Andrews offensive linemen and receivers going very low on our defensive linemen's knees.
That's the 3rd straight play with a penalty from either team. There were 2 straight on the Rams. Now a chop block will push them back. That play started at the 30-yard line. And now they are going all the way back to the 15. These penalties have been aplenty here, and they have seemed like they have been called deservedly so.
Right. And that's exactly what we expected with 2 teams full of 18, 19-year-old kids getting their first action in college football.
1st and 10 from their own 16, or 1st and 24, rather. Ferguson still under center. Bluefield with 8 men in the box. Devin Jackson out wide. And now the pitch on the far side to Bronton Woodard Jr., and he'll get up to the 20-yard line and a gain of 4.
Bailey, I don't think that's going to excite anybody else in this park more than me. That's exactly what I wanted Bluefield to do, is be able to seal those edges and not allow those running backs to get outside the hashes and beat them down the field.
Ball spotted at the 19-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 21 to go. Rams down by 3. It's 27-24. The Knights have the ball after a goal line stand, an impressive one at that, after Bluefield had the ball at the 1-yard line for 2 plays and still failed to score a touchdown. They had a handoff to Malik Brown as well as a quarterback sneak. As Ferguson is in the gun for 2nd and 21. Fake handoff, and you guessed it, another flag. And a false start, it looks like, pushing back the Knights 5 more yards, so that'll bring them back to the 14. It'll be 2nd and 26, Nick.
Billy, this has been one of the oddest drives that I believe I've ever seen.
Especially here.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right.
Goodness gracious. Starting at your 1-yard line, getting all the way up to about the 30, and then heading back to your own 14.
So it's 2nd and 26. Bluefield could use a turnover right here, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Ferguson has been smart ever since that first interception on that first drive. 3 backs behind him, likely to bring one in motion for the triple option, and he does. Has Godwin behind him, flicks it to Godwin. Now he'll try to get up, and he will cross the line of scrimmage and be tackled at the 19-yard line for a gain of 5. So now Bluefield has them on a 3rd down and very long. Still a 3-point lead with 2:20 left to go in the quarter.
And on 3rd and 21, you got to think St. Andrews hasn't been able to well, no, that's not true. They've had a lot of explosive plays. But you cannot give up this play.
They still haven't had They still haven't had 3rd and this long, though.
Right.
So the Rams still shouldn't take it lightly because the Knights have done a great job today of keeping them off guard.
A lot of confusion on that defense.
Another man in motion. Fake handoff to Rushing. Ferguson fires far sideline, and it's caught, but he's short of the marker. Looks like it was hauled in. Well, Ferguson on a great pass. And that was caught that time by Bronton Woodard. And now Bluefield forces them to punt. So 4th and 6. So they got kind of close and moved the ball all the way up to the 34-yard line. Gain of 15. And now the punter, Carson Gibbs, back in. And Bluefield going back with that 2 punt receivers, or punt returner rather, Tyrese Henry and Charles Black method.
And they're offset about 10 yards apart, and I've never really
It's a fake, passes it, and it's incomplete. The trickery fails for SAU after the pass went through the arms of the receiver, and Bluefield will get a first down at the 34-yard line. And he was absolutely wide open. It looked like it was intended for Tyquan Campbell, and it went right through his arms. So the pass from Carson Gibbs was on the money, but they make a terrible decision, Nick, because now Bluefield, who has moved the ball so well, has great field position.
And when a team decides to run a fake punt like that, it's never a good sign. It's usually a sign of desperation and lack of faith in their offense, but big break for Bluefield.
Hand off to Alex Martin on the far side, and he will storm up across the 30 and move the ball up to the 28-yard line for a gain of 6. So it's still 27-24, under a minute left to go in the third quarter here. Bluefield going for that darker end zone since that light bank has been out for the entire game. A transformer blue here in Bluefield, West Virginia last night. 2nd and 5 from the 29. Winning the gun with Martin right beside him. High snap, another handoff to the big running back, and he gets a small blocker and plunges his way up towards the 26-yard line for a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 2.
It's fun watching Alex Martin run into that line because the second he gets there, everybody moves up just about a yard and a half.
Right. And if you're a lineman, I know these are big guys, especially on the edge with Michael Hinckley, but that's still got to hurt with Alex Martin right behind you.
Every time.
3rd and 2 from the 26, and Bluefield looks at the sideline. This will probably be it with 15 seconds on the shot clock, or on the game clock, rather. And then, they're actually going for a three-pointer right here.
Well, that's
and
true,
the clock is running out. The third quarter is over, 27-24. 3rd and 2 for Bluefield when we come back, trying to go up on the SAU Knights for the first time here at Mitchell Stadium. One of the more exciting games we've had here at Mitchell Stadium. It's 27-24. In the fourth quarter, Rams have 3rd and 2 from the Knights 26. Witt in the gun with Alex Martin beside him. Snap, handoff to Martin, and he rushes right up the middle, inching close to the marker, and it looks like it'll be good enough for a 1st and 10 for Bluefield. Alex Martin has been the go-to guy today.
Absolutely. He has dominated this game for the Rams backfield. And you got to think, after last year, leading the team with almost 1,000 yards, not getting as many carries, maybe he's a little trying to prove a point here.
Has done so today. 1st and 10 at the 23. Bluefield in the red zone. as the Knights are showing blitz. A play action, flare out on the right side for Charles Black, and he will dance up across the 20 for a 4-yard gain to the 19. And that could have been a bad play, but Martin able to just shimmy around and get a small gain for the Rams. Black, the receiver from Florida. When the Bluefield College Rams played down in Southeastern, weren't too far away from his home in Winter Springs. Now 2nd and 6 from the 19. Martin behind Witt this time. 7 men in the box. Another handoff right up the butt to Martin. And Martin goes up the middle before falling right into a wall of Knights. And it will be a 4-yard gain up to the 15-yard line.
And Bailey, I'm going to give you a piece of my football expertise. I believe St. Andrews may blitz right here.
Well, they might jump offside, especially with how many times we've seen that today. 3rd and 3 from the 15. Have the short yardage running back, Alex Martin. And the Knights have shown blitz all day. Witt drops back, firing for the end zone, and incomplete. Looking for a flag, and he didn't get it. Antonio Strickland trying for the touchdown, but instead gets no flags, and he dropped the pass. So now bringing out Tanner Griffith to try to tie this one up. Yet again, another missed opportunity. Witt was looking for a touchdown pass, and that was a good pass. It was on time.
And that corner either had perfect coverage or was draped all over him just a tad too much.
So
We have seen Strickland bring down 2 of those passes these past 2 weeks, though.
33-yard field goal attempt for Tanner Griffith to tie it up. Wind is blowing to the right. Kick is away, and it is good. We are tied. It was 27-10 in the second quarter, but Bluefield has now scored 17 unanswered. All tied up here at Mitchell Stadium, 27-27 with 13-19 left to go in the game. And the shootout in the 2 Virginias when we come back. All tied up in Mitchell Stadium as the Rams have scored 17 unanswered. It's 27-27, 13-19 left to go. Tanner Griffith boots a hot received by Burton at the 10-yard line. Going straight up the middle, looking for a hole, and he has it, dancing out to the far sideline. Has one man to beat, still on the far sideline on his feet, and he's tackled out of bounds. And they will spot him back at the 26-yard line. But a flag all the way back at the 35 of Bluefield. This one could be coming back, Nick.
Right, and like I've said it all day, once we get a little momentum, they try and take it away. But that might be taken back by this flag. It looks like a block in the back or a holding place.
And it's a personal foul on the Knights. So instead of having a gigantic gain on a kickoff return, Bluefield will have them anchored down in their own territory once again. And now we have to see what Deshaun Ferguson can do here. Pressure is on as the Rams have all the momentum in the world. So it will be 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line with 13:09 left to go here in this game. And the Rams have been able not to make spectacular plays on the defensive end, Nick, but really they have been able to manage as well.
Right, and they beat us twice on big plays, and that's just a lap. Not a lot of focus on those 2 plays of the game. Other than that, they've had a hard time trying to drive the football on us.
Ferguson brings a man in motion, now drops back, has to hang one deep. Trotman, and he is tackled before the pass, and that is undoubtedly a pass interference as 2 flags fly on the turf. Trotman jumped up looking for the pass, and he had the man beat, and it looked like Philip Tyler actually tackled to the ground.
That was pass interference, but at the same time, that might not have been the worst play. If that receiver would have gotten free, he would have had a lot of green ahead of him with the ball in his chest.
That's a strategic pass interference.
Yes.
So it'll be a gain of 15 yards. Now 36-yard line after the penalty. A little bit different than the style because they would have it at the 40-yard line, but now just a 15-yard penalty on the pass interference, and Ferguson has a 1st and 10. Now Godwin in motion, ball comes down, and Ferguson flops on the ball for a loss of about 4 back to the 31-yard line. So now it'll be 2nd and long, 2nd and 14 to be exact, back at the 31. And that's what we're starting to see out of this Knights team, Nick. They're making mistakes where we didn't see them do that in the first or second quarters. They were a well-oiled machine, but now in the second half, the Rams have kind of gotten into them, and it started to pile up a little bit.
And that's one thing that Bluefield's been very good at is his halftime adjustments, coming out of the locker room in the second half defensively and being able to stop what we couldn't stop in the first half.
Looking out left, and Ferguson will run up across the 35, up to the 37. It's a gain of 5 on the triple option attempt. He didn't have to flick it, though. And now it will be 3rd and 9. Rams tasked with another 3rd down stop. Folks, they were down by 17. They now have fought their way back to tie this one up. And just think, they were also stopped at the 1-yard line on a turnover on down. So the Rams possibly could be in the lead right now if that goes their way. Now 3rd and 9 for Ferguson in the gun. Bluefield with 7 men in the box. Now Godwin in motion. Ferguson drops back under all sorts of pressure and will fire the ball out of bounds. Bluefield looking for an intentional grounding, but they will not get it, and it will be 4th and 9. So a huge stop for the Rams defense, Nick, and we have seen that in the entire time in the second half.
Absolutely. Devin Jackson coming off the edge, blitzing there, getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, forcing him to throw it away. That's great. That's exactly what we needed. We're going to get the ball back. Should have decent field position. Bailey, this is a long shot, but do you foresee another fake punt?
Well, I kind of think that they would stop doing that, especially
yes.
Now with Bluefield just scoring on every drive. Rams showing that they're going for the block, but punt is away. A fair catch for Charles Black back at the 32-yard line, and Bluefield will start from there after the punt from Carson Gibbs. And now a couple of Bluefield players down. And it looks like after a couple were down, Devin Jackson up and limping off of the field, and another laying at the 45-yard line.
Devin Jackson was calling the trainers out pretty quick, saying something about his hand. Not Devin's hand, the fellow who's down. I can't really see his number at the moment.
Yeah, we can't make up his number right now, but Bluefield, as it stands, 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Or rather, that is wrong on the scoreboard, 32-yard line. But still, we've seen the drives work, but for the Rams, they have to execute a little bit better in the red zone.
They do. That's been the story of the season offensively is we get down there and we just can't punch it in. We can't get those 6 points. We have to settle for 3. Good thing we have a good kicker, but at the same time, we need to get 7 points. We need to start developing this habit of getting 7 points instead of, well, we're only going to take 3 here.
Well, it was Isaiah Fenner that was injured, and he walked off the field on his own accord. So now Kaysen Witt back out as the quarterback with Malik Brown, the running back, on his right. From the 37, a short pitch to Brown. He'll sprint up towards the edge, dances out near sideline, a juking move. Still on his feet, pushing towards the 40, and then brought down out of bounds, and flags will come. So it was a late flag brought in after the tackle was made well out of bounds. Looked like it was from Austin. And what a bonehead for the Knights, because Bluefield now will have not only a good rush from Malik Brown that was just about 8 yards, tack on 15
An
more.
extra 15, and that's where that undisciplined young freshman full team has come in throughout this second half, especially in this fourth quarter. There's been a flag on almost every other play against St. Andrews, and that's just the discipline of getting late in a game, especially in an emotional game like this, a game that's been so close and very physical and very hard fought. St. Andrews needs to keep their emotions in check, and Bluefield needs to capitalize on that.
And now you have to really expect for St. Andrews, those emotions have to be building up at this point,
Right.
and you can't let them boil over like that.
Right.
Now the Rams have 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line, now in Knights territory, looking for the lead for the first time in this game with a wind at their back right. 2 receivers bunched out right and 1 on the far side. Hand off to Brown, right up the middle, has a hole and room to run at the 30, 25-20, and he will get all the way up across the 15-yard line, and another first down for Malik Brown. And between him and Alex Martin, it's been a great day on the rush attack for Bluefield.
And they complement each other very well. Alex Martin is a big bruising back, and I tell you what, the second Malik Brown gets an inch of space, he is absolutely taking off.
1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Bluefield tied up in this one, 27-27. Snap. Witt pitches it out left side for Brown, looking for a hole. He hurdles, and he will be tackled at the 12-yard line. That time it looks like the tackler was Tyquez Scott, the cornerback. And now at the 12-yard line, it'll be 2nd and 7 with under 10.5 minutes left to go in this game. Bluefield now capitalizing on a younger team, making mistakes here on the far hash, 2nd and 7. Another handoff to Brown, inching up, now across the 10, and then wrestled back down by Chris Smith. So now under 10 minutes left to go. 3rd and manageable again. Now have to go 3rd and 4.
And Bailey, we've talked about it all day, is getting inside this red zone and getting 6 points on the board rather than 3. This is a big play for this Bluefield offense.
Strickland is the receiver on the near sideline. 3rd and 4 from the 10. Snap. Fake handoff. Witt rolling back, and he's sacked. What a sack by Cody Edmondson. And Bluefield, instead of having 3rd and 4, will have 4th and very long all the way back to the 20, and they will send out the kick team for a pretty difficult kick right here.
It is. This is very similar to his kick from last week's game-winning kick, but at the same time, that's been the story of the game and the story of the season thus far. Is we get inside the opponent's 20, and we just cannot convert.
37-yarder for the lead with 9 minutes left. Snap, hold is down, kick is away, and it is no good. Wide right. And we will stay tied. What a stop by St. Andrews. And you see on that far sideline for the Knights, they are excited. And frankly, Nick, they should be. Bluefield had the ball up at the 10-yard line with just 4 yards to go for the first. And we're very close to another touchdown. And yet again, another missed red zone opportunity.
And that's 2 drives in a row. With the first drive, we were on their 1-yard line, maybe their 1-inch yard line. 1-inch mark. And they stop us. So we get inside their 10. Another great drive for the Bluefield College Rams, and they stop us again. So they should be excited. And let's see if they can carry over that momentum into this offensive drive. They haven't been able to do much yet in the second half. Let's see if they can get it going here later.
That has been the silver lining for Bluefield. The defense has been stout. Now Ferguson fakes the first handoff, and he'll rush out right, breaks the first tackle, and after pinballing around a few tacklers, he moves up across the 25-yard, the 26, for a gain of 6. It'll be under 9 minutes left to go, and maybe one of the more exciting games we've had this season for Bluefield. No, last week the Rams won 13-10. This one a high-scoring affair. The Rams were down 27-10 at one point in this game. Rallied all the way back and have tied it up. Now need another stop from their defense. 2nd and 4 for Ferguson and company. Has one man behind him. Snap, quick drop back, fires out right. Trotman bobbled it, and he made the catch for a first down across the 30 and tackled at the 31-yard line.
That was a great play, and those routes have seemed to work all day for St. Andrews. It's all about the timing of the routes. And with our cornerbacks 7 to 8 yards off the ball, they just cannot react in time.
So the quick drop back, Ferguson has connected with Trotman, who, like we said, has 3 touchdowns in this game. 3 of the 4 touchdowns scored. The only other one was from Jacob Rushing on a 61-yard rush on the edge. Now Ferguson with a 1st and 10 at his own 31-yard line. Under center with 3 backs behind him. Now a man in motion, fakes the handoff, and then he'll go on the left side and just inch up a few yards. Now up to the 32. It'll be 2nd and 8. Close ball game, and it's been really fun to call for you folks. Thanks for tuning in here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. 2nd and 8, and the Rams will be on the road. Like Ratliff and I will be at Point University next week, where the Rams go down to Georgia, but actually play in Alabama at a football stadium just down the road from the campus of Point University in West Point, Georgia. So now 2nd and 8. Yeah, I didn't know that until yesterday. So Ferguson under center. Godwin in motion out right. He'll drop straight back. Under pressure. Moves up. He tucks it. Takes it himself. And the linebacking core for Bluefield rocking him right back to the ground. Andre Evans looked like he anchored it right there. And now the ball spotted at the 34-yard line. 3rd and about 6. So another big 3rd down task, Nick. Bluefield has been able to do it in the second half. 6.5 minutes, though, and the time is ticking down. All tied up 27-27 between these two Mid-South Conference teams.
I think they're looking to take a timeout right here. They haven't called it yet, but.
And that is what they will do. David Harper rushing out on the field, showing for timeout, and that's what he'll do to stop the clock at 6:19. 3rd and 7 to go as we take a break here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Coming back, 3rd and 7 coming up for the Knights here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Third and 7 coming up. Ball spotted at the 34-yard line. Possibly a big conversion here in a tie ball game. 27-27. Knights have it. Field with only 3 men on the line of scrimmage. Ferguson drops back. He's got a blitzer. Fires, and it is caught by Decker. He has it into Bluefield territory and tackled across the 45-yard line on a huge 3rd down conversion for Chris Decker.
And when they need a big play, they look right back to the middle of that Bluefield College secondary.
So they move the ball all the way up to the 44-yard line. It's a gain of 20. And for Decker, perfectly executed play. Deshaun Ferguson dropped back. There was pressure on the blitz by Caleb Jackson. He couldn't get a hand on the quarterback, and it was dumped off to that running back. So now 1st and 10, 5:44 left on the clock. 27-27 the score. Now a man in motion, a flag coming, and this will stop the play before it happens. Larry Jefferson contacting Ferguson right after the play, and the Knights not exactly excited about that at all.
No. But with Ferguson, he's been extremely efficient today. He does not have many incompletions. He's completed most of the passes he's thrown, and he's made smart decisions other than that interception as a late flag comes in. I'm not sure what that is.
So the first flag was a false start, and now it looks like this one could possibly be on the sideline on the coach, David Harper.
This goes back to having a young team and trying to keep your emotions in check.
So 15 more yards, pushing them all the way back. So right after the huge catch from Chris Decker, they're back nearly where they started. So that pass was at the 34-yard line when it happened, and it moved them all the way up to the 44 of Bluefield. Now they're pushed back to their own 36.
And that's been the story of this second half, Bailey, is they'll get in front of the chains, and then something will happen. They'll lose their cool. 15-yard penalty will push them back, and then 1st and 30, that's a heck of a way to start a drive.
So 27-27 the score. 1st and 30. Now the Rams can take a sigh of relief, but they can't ignore the fact that the Knights have been able to execute. Another handoff to Decker right up the middle, breaks the first tackler, stiff arms, and now moves up towards the 50 on his feet after a herd of Rams tries to bring him down to the turf, and forward progress will bring him up to the 49. It's a gain of 13 for Chris Decker, the running back from Freeport, Florida.
And that's one thing that's bailed out the St. Andrews offense is once they get so far behind the sticks, they've been able to get back up to them with big plays, both in the running game and the passing game.
Still 2nd and 17, though, after that play was 1st and 30. So Decker with a couple of big plays on the drive already. Ferguson lining up in what kind of resembles a pistol formation. Now right back up under center. 4 men on the line of scrimmage for Bluefield. Fake handoff up the middle, then flicks it out wide to Rushing. Rushing, colliding with Bluefield at the line of scrimmage. Devin Jackson as well as Will Seltz bringing down the running back who has caught Bluefield off guard at times today. It's a gain of nothing, 3rd and 17.
Billy, I mean, I'm sure everybody else is expecting it as well, but I'm looking for a shot down the field right here, down the middle of the field.
Well, the Rams had 3rd down, or forced them to have 3rd down, rather, and they converted on that pass to Chris Decker, so Bluefield cannot fall asleep here. So rather, 3rd and 15, now in Bluefield territory with the fans coming alive here at Mitchell. 3 receivers out right. Ferguson drops back, looking, under pressure, now has to roll out left, still rolling, tucks it under his wing and moves up to the 40, and then pushed out of bounds. It'll be 4th down for the Knights.
St. Andrews is going to have a heck of a call to make right here. Do you punt it away with 3 minutes and 45 seconds and trust your defense, or do you try and go for it?
Well, I think with the fact that they went for it on a fake punt early in the game, pinned back in their own territory, this kind of seems like a no-brainer that you would try to go for it again. 3:37 and counting on the clock with 27-27 being the score here at Mitchell Stadium. It is 4th and 7. Bluefield looking for a huge stop. Ferguson in the gun. He rolls out right under all kinds of pressure, and it is incomplete. He rolled back out left, a pass intended for Josh Godwin, and it went right through the running back's hands, and if he caught that, he might have just walked into the end zone.
He could have very well walked into the end zone. That's a great play, having all of your linemen block down to the right, having your quarterback roll to the right. Everybody's looking that way, then you throw a pass back across the field. The scheme worked to perfection. The execution did not.
So instead of it being a 1st down for SAU on a greatly designed play, Bluefield will take over at the 41-yard line with Witt having 2 receivers on the far side. Play action. Now has to roll out left against the pressure. Now he crosses the line of scrimmage, runs out of bounds, and tackled very close to being a penalty. Not sure why the Knights really roll the dice with those tackles, but it's a good gain for Kason Witt, and Bluefield will have 2nd and short.
It's that being a young team, but also at the same time, a defense is going to take every shot they can take at a quarterback.
So it will be 2nd and 3 from the 48-yard line. Bluefield, just a few more yards to go, have to get it up to the opposing 49 for a 1st down as the Rams stay in the gun. Witt hits the snap, hands it off right up the middle, and Malik Brown wrestles up close to the 50-yard line. He spun close to the marker, and it's going to be a gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
And this is where Bluefield offense is going to thrive. If we can keep these long drives, getting to 3rd down and converting with only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on this clock, this is very familiar territory.
2:30 flat, partner, and it looks like they are going to call a timeout possibly here. Referees looking to switch out the ball. It is 3rd and 1.
Huh.
And this is an odd thing to happen at such a tension-filled point of the game.
Very anticlimactic.
Yes. 2:30 left to go in the game. They switch out the game ball. And it is 3rd and 1. Clock rolling again under 2.5 minutes. Bluefield needs a yard for a fresh set of downs. Alex Martin, the running back. All kinds of men in the box right now. Hand off to Martin. Gets up near the line of scrimmage, and he inches up to the 48-yard line, and that'll be a 1st down for Bluefield. So now just a little over 2 minutes left. Bluefield with a first down, and Churchy Harold going back in as a slot receiver. Kason Witt trying to manage a game-winning drive for Bluefield. They were down by 17. They have scored 17 unanswered. Showing blitz. Witt drops back under pressure. He'll draw it up across the 40. Now the 35, and he'll be tackled at the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 18 and a great draw for the redshirt junior quarterback.
That was a great play by Kason Witt. For this Bluefield College offense, we've harped all day that once you get inside the 20, you want to get 7. But this is a point where we do have a good kicker on the back end this late in the game.
Got to get up manageable. 1st and 10 at the 30. Witt hands it off to Martin on the left side, and now he is tackled on a gain of nothing or maybe 1. Wrestled to the ground that time. Looks like it was Zavon Powell. Offensive tackle from Knightdale, North Carolina. It's 2nd and 9 at the 29. Griffith hit the game winner, a walk-off last week. Now all kinds of men on the line of scrimmage. Drops back, flares for the end zone. Antonio Strickland makes the catch and tackled and pushed out of bounds at the 2-yard line. And flags came after. Strickland went over top of the corner, and Kendrick Ivey was on the ground, and Strickland probably going to get called with a taunting right here.
Yes, and that goes back to having your emotions in check.
And having a young team, and everybody in the stadium, including his teammates, have to be so frustrated with Antonio Strickland.
And Dewey Lusk is getting on him for that. And you got to understand that situation. You get the ball down to the 2, and then you lose 15 yards for not a smart penalty.
And it was such a great pass.
It was.
From Witt. Flared to a talented receiver in Antonio Strickland. And now they have a 1st and 10 at the 16 instead of 1st and goal at the 2. So they have to get the ball up to the 6-yard line. Hand off to Martin. Right up the middle, and he will plunge his way.
Ooh,
and
yes.
now a flag at the end of the play as well. Flags aplenty here. And like we said earlier, they have been deservedly so.
Absolutely. It's getting very testy. That was an extremely dirty play, grabbing Alex Martin's head right there while he was already down. That's just – there's no room for that in this game.
That happened right at the conclusion of a play that was unnecessarily drawn because Bluefield had a short gain. Now with under a minute left to go, 58 seconds left, and the Rams likely to line up Tanner Griffith for the game-winning kick. And that's unless they can score a touchdown for that. So it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that brings Bluefield to a 1st and goal situation. They'll move the ball up to the 7-yard line. And now a timeout call. 58 seconds left. And we have to see the timeout actually called by St. Andrews. All tied up, 27-27. Rams looking for their consecutive win here. Going for a 500 record at 3-3, and actually will be their first division win here in the Appalachian Division of the Mid-South. And those start to count after a while, so Bluefield can try to make it to the NAIA playoffs. Still tied at 27-27. Saw Bluefield get down to the 2. Antonio Strickland made a great catch, and then he stood over Kendrick Ivey, the cornerback, which drew a 15-yard penalty, pushed them back to the 16, and then the handoff to Alex Martin on the ensuing play. There was an unsportsmanlike conduct call on St. Andrews, so that pushed Bluefield up to the 7-yard line. And Nick, the Rams have all of the momentum in the world, and they just have nobody to beat but themselves right here.
Right, and this is the exact spot that we want to be in, that Bluefield wants to be in. At the same time, I hate to play the devil's advocate here, but Tanner Griffith did miss his last field goal attempt in this game. And as a kicker, that's the only thing that you have to worry about. So I'm sure he's been thinking about it on the sideline. Hopefully he's clearing his mind and getting ready for this kick that he's going to have to attempt if we don't.
It was a 32-yarder that he missed the last time. Now Bluefield 1st and goal at the 7 with Martin, the running back. Hands it off to him. Going, still, diving to the end zone. Touchdown, Bluefield. They take the lead with 53 seconds left to go in the game, and Alex Martin, the hero today, capping off another touchdown drive. What a game for the junior from Dobson, North Carolina.
Alex Martin has dominated. Alex Martin coming in off last season, 979 yards, just has absolutely thrown his weight around today and played beautifully.
PAT ensuing. Snap is down. Kick is up, and it is good. 34-27. Bluefield has scored 24 unanswered points, and now flags after the play is over again. We're going to have to see what this is.
Yeah, both teams are trotting off 30 yards away from each other. This is odd.
We're going to see what the call is, but Alex Martin, another 7-yard touchdown, his second of the game. And unsportsmanlike on Bluefield. So now that will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff. And usually we take a break after the touchdowns, Nick. Don't really have that much time here. So It's only 53 seconds left to go in the game. And what a comeback we've seen from the Rams today. Down by 17. It was 27-10 there in the second quarter. The Rams got the ball back in the second half, down by just 10. And then able to score again. And they've been able to just get themselves back. Very resilient ball club here.
And I hate using the term a second half team, but I think that's exactly what we have. Every game
today, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Every game that we've come out of halftime, including Southeastern and last week, we've looked very, very good. I'm not sure what they do at half. I have no idea, but whatever it is, they need to keep doing it, and it's working very well. And scoring that many points unanswered, and our defense has played extremely well. This has been a great second half of football, minus all of the penalties that we've had.
Well, the penalties have helped and hindered Bluefield. Now you're seeing the hindrance of one here. Tanner Griffith will have to kick it back all the way at his own 20-yard line.
And Bailey, it is extremely windy out there.
And it actually looks like the Rams going with a new kicker. It's Hugo Montalongo, the freshman from Reno, Nevada. And the wind is absolutely swirling around here at Mitchell Stadium. Have to see if Jermaine Trotman can work any magic for the Knights. He has 3 touchdowns, and he looks confident, ready to receive this kick at his own 30-yard line. 53 seconds left to go. Bluefield up 34-27. Montalongo rushes up to the ball and sends it away. Going to be received by Trotman on a good kick back at the 20-yard line. Juking, slipped up and slammed to the ground at the 30-yard line. On the tackle was Mason Jefferson. And Trotman tried to make a juking move, but the young man absolutely drilled him to the ground out of Charles City, Virginia. And that's where the drive will start with 50 seconds left to go. Bluefield looking for one of the bigger comebacks in the program's history, up 34-27 on St. Andrews.
And as we've seen today, St. Andrews can strike with that one-play touchdown. Let's see if Bluefield can just hold them off for the next 50 seconds.
1st and 10 from the 31. Ferguson in the gun. Fakes the handoff. Flares it out left, and it's going to be caught by, that time, it was a loss right there after it was caught by Bronton Woodard. Bluefield able to make the stop. It'll be 2nd and long.
Devin Jackson played that absolutely perfectly. Saw the play, came up, read it, and just stuck him.
Now Devin Jackson, 2-time Appalachian Division Defensive Player of the Week, as Ferguson drops back and flares it out to Woodard again, and he dropped it. Woodard thought about running before he hauled the pass in, and now it's going to be 3rd and 8 from the 33. Just 22 seconds left to go in this game. Have to hope for a miracle here. Bluefield up by 7. It's 34-27. Rams on the edges of their seats.
And Bailey, Brandon Kale, after that play, chucked his shoe back to the sideline and was planning on staying out to play, but they ended up taking him out. Thought that was a very competitive thing to do from the freshman.
Well, who wants to get out of this game?
Absolutely.
22 seconds left. It is 3rd and 8. Ferguson a low snap, drops back, fires it deep, looking for Trotman, and it is incomplete. No flags on a flare out to maybe the most talented receiver they have. And now it will be 4th and 8 with 16 seconds left.
That is great coverage. I apologize cutting you off, but Isaiah Finner did an absolutely incredible job. Not in the pass interference call. That would have really hurt him. 4th down. This is not a spot any team wants to be in. Let's see this Bluefield College defense come up big.
4th and 8. Back at their own 33-yard line. Rams looking for a huge comeback victory. Up by 7. And now a timeout called by the Knights. What a game, Nick, and that's all you really have to say. The running game has worked so well for Bluefield. The Knights on their sideline kind of look like, what happened in this game? They were up 27-10. This Bluefield out of the water there on that first half. And then the Rams in the second half got all of it together, made sure to come back. Rush attack work with Malik Brown as well as Alex Martin. We saw there on that last touchdown.
There's been a very well-played football game from both sides. St. Andrews on both sides of the ball along with Bluefield. The only thing that hasn't been going so well is the penalties. We keep coming back to it. But St. Andrews looks very good for a first-year team, coming in only at 1-4. They have a chance to pull off a miracle here with 16 seconds left. Let's see what they can do.
No timeouts left for St. Andrews, 16 seconds. They have to get the ball up to their 41 for a 1st and 10, but there only is 16 seconds left. Snap to Ferguson, drops back, fires, and it is intercepted. Bluefield caps off a gigantic comeback victory with an interception. What a game for Bluefield. It'll be 1st down at the 46-yard line with 11 seconds left.
And that's awesome to see. It's going to be fun to watch this Bluefield College team line up in victory formation with this big 7-point margin of victory here tonight. And what a second half from this Bluefield team.
And that was Isaiah Feder, his 2nd interception of the season. And he had the great coverage on the play before that and finally picked it off as the Rams line up in victory formation, like you said, with 11 seconds left. Snap and the kneel. Bluefield has capped off a gigantic comeback victory. Down at one point in this game, 27-10, but they wrap up this one, improve to 3-3 on the year, 34-27 victory. And Nick, that's one of the more spectacular football games we've seen around here.
Absolutely. This second half, Bluefield, we came out firing. We had a couple of mishaps getting inside the 20 and not scoring at all. But at the end of the day, we fought, we overcame it, and we ended up winning this game. And one thing is these players have really bought into Dewey Lusk and what he wants to do. As those last seconds ticked off during victory formation, a bunch of players hanging around and messing with him. They really enjoy playing for him. They enjoy what he stands for.
And you saw there, when they were down by 17, Bluefield never really looked defeated. They got that offense rolling. Alex Martin started playing so much better. Malik Brown as well started picking up the slack in the run game. And Kaysen Witt managed so well. Bluefield didn't make that many crazy mistakes.
They didn't at all. Other than those two one-play touchdown drives in the first half, Bluefield played an incredible football game. This team has gotten better week to week. I think you can attest to that as well. Each the week before.
And the defense played well in the second half, anchoring down St. Andrews, capping off a huge comeback victory. Bluefield scores 24 unanswered and wins this one 34-27. So for my broadcast partner, Nick Ratliff, and my cameraman, Stephen Collier, my name is Bailey Engel, once again reminding you the final score from Mitchell Stadium. Bluefield wins this one in comeback fashion, 34-27. And until next week, when the Rams take on point, take it easy, Rams fans.
Thank you so much for your attendance here at Mitchell Stadium tonight. Be safe on your drive home. Good night, and God bless.